when writing a record, when you're starting from scratch, writing a record is like putting together a 200-piece puzzle in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The way that works for me is the first thing I do is I gather riffs. I don't sit down and say, I'm going to write a song like this, or I'm going to write a song like that, or I'm going to write a song with this intention. I just play guitar, and if I play guitar for 30 days straight, I might not come out with one riff. Like, that's why it takes 3 years to write a Nails record.
Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How you doing, Bo?
Doing very well, Colin. How are we today?
I don't know if we could be better. I'll be honest with you. I'm full of in and out. I've had a beautiful day, and now we have an incredible guest here at HardLore headquarters. This is decades in the making, really. One of the most requested guests in the history of the show.
It's true.
A guest who, from day one, we were like, man, wouldn't it be crazy to have Todd on? The day has finally come.
Here we are.
Because today, to my right here, we have, and let me start from the top here. He was the founding member of Carry On. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest.
No.
Not a founding member of Carry On.
I joined Carry On.
Todd joined Carry On a little later. He was in Carry On.
There we go.
He was a founding member of Terror. Mm. He is the vocalist of Nails. He is the co-creator of Sound and Fury Festival. He's done it all, and now he's here to tell his story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the greats, TODD JONES of Nails. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for the correction. That was fantastic. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you doing? How's this year been for you? Nails is back in full swing.
Yep.
Full-time touring band. How has that been?
Oh, it's been lovely. It's been awesome. The scene is awesome. Everything's been great, honestly.
The growth in kind of all facets of music since you guys were last really active, is insane.
Yeah.
And Nails is really witnessing it firsthand.
When I went to the show in Chicago, where we saw each other pretty briefly, that was a room of like 20 people I knew and like 700 people I'd never seen before in my life. And I mean that in the like least derogatory way ever. Because it shows that like Nails been bubbling, just ready under the surface.
As Todd would say, that's what's up.
That's what's up, baby.
So tell me, let's go back in time now, because we know where we are now. We got to figure out how we got there.
Yeah. Great.
So I want to hear about Todd as a young lad in the 805 finding hardcore music.
Nirvana was what set off music for me. I've done so many interviews and I say a lot of the same things over again, so I feel kind of redundant saying this, but that's how I fell in love with music, and then eventually, Green Day and Offspring became mainstream bands, and me and my pals really liked that a lot, and we started buying cassettes and CDs of bands that were on thanks lists from there, and found our way to all the Fat Records and Epitaph stuff, and then found our way to Dead Kennedys, and then one day my friend Joel, he had the Minor Threat complete discography on CD. He borrowed it from somebody and he played it for me, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
So punk was first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Punk was first.
Beautiful.
And now you got Nails covering Minor Threat, covering bands like Straight Ahead, which I've always thought was so cool, that you really never, even in like your most aggressive metallic band, that still fits within the ethos and honestly within the style of Nails. So you've never moved past, you've never given that up, which is awesome. It's all part of the evolution. I know you love Guns N' Roses too.
Yeah, Appetite for Destruction is one of my favorite records ever.
You know, that was one of the first interactions you and I ever had in our lives, was on Strange Notes. I was 14 years old. Strange Notes was a message board that Todd co-founded.
Well, Riley founded it.
Riley founded Todd.
It.
Todd's and I's first interactions were all on there. I was a little got banned a couple times.
Yeah.
But before that, I talked about, as a 14-year-old, how much I love Guns N' Roses. Specifically, my favorite record to this day, Use Your Illusion 2. Do you remember what you said to me?
Did you tell me that was your favorite record?
Yeah.
I probably said something really rude.
You said, go Appetite or go home. I've never forgotten it.
It's a lot of filler tracks on that record.
There
on both those
are, but
records.
dude, the bangers are insane. Todd loves Guns N' Roses and Nirvana.
How about that? I mean,
Beautiful
Nirvana,
stuff.
I get. Guns N' Roses is still not on paper. Guns N' Roses, I should love, but it's not.
Yeah, but have you ever seen him fiddle around with a guitar before they play?
Todd.
It's blues scale.
Sure,
baby, all day.
sure.
Bo, do you look at Guns N' Appetite? Do you look at Appetite for Destruction in general? Do you look at that as like a hair metal record, not like a hard rock record?
No, I. So the thing is I loved VH1 Behind the Music.
Me
And
too.
Guns N' Roses had a really good one where they were like, we were over hair metal. We just happened to kind of style our hair a certain way. But they very distinctly made it. So I always knew that they were like a kick-ass band and not a fucking Poison. You know, I knew that. And you know what I think of it as? I think of it as like Big Mac sauce. It's like the best-selling thing ever. Everyone loves it. It's just not for me. I don't like it. It's not my
And
thing.
you guys really fucking shill for fast food corporations, don't you?
No, we don't
We'll say
anymore.
We'll say
We've
In and
slowed
Out.
down.
Thank
We'll say
fucking
spread.
God.
We'll say In and Out spread.
Spread.
All
Yeah,
right, In and Out spread.
In and Out spread.
Still-
That's better. We're done with the corpse, dude. We're eating local. We're so skinny now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you? It's unbelievable.
By the way,
Tell me about-
I'm going to send this to Steven, but the last text message Colin sent before you arrived was, maybe we try to eat 200 nuggets this year.
Together. Anyway, tell me about finding the guitar.
Damn.
Yeah, I was listening to Nirvana, and then I got into Nirvana and Metallica at pretty much the same time because they were both on MTV.
Yeah.
MTV was like really huge for my musical discovery.
Same.
Yeah.
MTV X was
Yeah.
really big when Taylor and I were young,
Nice.
which was all extreme all day.
Damn.
Now it's
I
just
didn't see
ridiculous.
that one.
It was great. I don't know if it made it to California, but I swear it was once more than just ridiculousness. 24 hours a day, they had music on TV,
It's crazy.
if you can believe it.
But one day, I don't know, I was just watching the Nirvana Lithium video, and I saw their bassist, Chris Novoselic. He was like, the video is like a live performance video, and he was like jumping around. I was like, that looks like fun. And my dad was a musician, so I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm interested in trying this bass thing out. He's like, okay, well, he had a bass.
Bass first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bass first. So I like tried messing around with bass for a couple of weeks, and I don't know why, but I was like, I think I'm going to try guitar. I think I was bored with bass, not because I was great at it, because I wasn't. I was, starting out, but I felt like maybe I could make more like tonality with the guitar.
Yeah.
And you were right.
How old were you?
11.
Yeah. What was the first guitar?
A Fernandez Stratocaster, like a blue Strat. It's like a
Sick.
Japanese made guitar.
It's the first question I have that I wrote down is what was the first guitar?
I still have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first riff you ever learned on it?
I mean, it had to be Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like it had either that or the song Lithium.
That makes a lot of sense.
That'll do it. That'll do it every time.
I had lost my first Strat, my first guitar. I'd given it to an ex-girlfriend in high school, hadn't seen it, and over COVID, she contacted me. She was like, do you want this back? So I got it back.
Whoa, did it have single coils or did it have a humbucker in it?
Single coils.
Okay, yeah, mine also had single coils. And dude, do you remember discovering how buff a humbucking pickup would sound through an amp? Like,
Yeah.
it was like, I was too young to understand what pickups were.
Yeah.
And then I had this Ibanez that my friend had this Ibanez that had a humbucker in it, and I took it and I put it into the amp, and it was like, holy shit, what is this?
I could have done this the whole time.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
My
Yeah.
next guitar was a Les Paul, was a studio, and it was just like, oh.
Wait, so you
see.
went from a knockoff Strat straight to a Les Paul
I
studio?
went from a Squire Strat to a Gibson Les Paul. It was an 8th grade graduation present from my dad.
Yeah, dude, a Les Paul in 8th grade? Damn,
grade,
dog.
yeah.
I didn't get my first studio until I was like out of high school.
Yeah, it was.
I've never had one, but I'm much less good at guitar than both of you. So
You're pretty good at guitar, man.
Did you? So your dad?
I can write.
Colin, you're pretty good. You need to start. You can give yourself.
This isn't about me. Tell us about your dad.
Yeah, Todd. Was your dad? Was he like a musician? Was he doing stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a musician. He did his thing. He was, he would perform at bars as like a one-man band. So he'd have like a drum machine and bring a PA and play guitar and do cover songs.
Dude, that's Colin's final evolution.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get some tips from him eventually. So between learning lithium and joining Carry On, there's a gray area that I don't know too much about. Like young teenage Todd finding straight edge, finding community in the 805. Like who were the young corpsmen that you surrounded yourself with? Like what was your circle like growing up?
Well, a big one was when I started going to high school and I met Zach Nelson, who does, or Zach Oxnard, who does 185 miles south.
In Control, Retaliate.
Absolutely.
Is 805 Oxnard? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ventura County?
Well, it goes pretty far, but yeah, Ventura County. It goes all the way up to like Atascadero. It goes all the way out to Bakersfield.
Oh, wow.
All the way to like Simi Valley and Agora Hills.
So was Zach Nelson your age or was he like your old head?
Not my old head, but definitely a year older than me and a year above me in high school. Like we were going to high school at the same time. Like when I was a freshman, he was a sophomore.
Cool. Yeah.
So you guys came up together.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
That's very cool.
That's my Chris Mills. Same exact.
That's your Chris Mills.
That's my
what's
Chris.
up.
And In Control was pretty early for him, right?
He started In Control in 99. However, in 1996, when I was a freshman in high school, maybe 95, my friend Josh went to go try out for Zach's band playing bass. And I was like, oh, can I go with you? And I went, and Josh tried out. And then after he tried out, I took the bass and I started jamming on it. And I didn't think anything of it. And then the next day at school, Zach was like, yeah, we're not going to go with Josh, but we want you to join the band.
Fuck.
I was like,
brutal,
awesome.
dude. On bass?
Yeah, on bass. Yeah,
So you're like, I played bass when I was 11, I guess, but this isn't really my life anymore.
Well, how many people in hardcore bands like, oh, we need a bassist? Well, our friend can play guitar, just throw a bass on.
Oh, that's the ultimate move. That's the best move ever.
Exactly.
You got a good guitar player. You've got an excellent bass player.
I learned that very early on.
Yeah.
So did you do it?
Yeah. I joined their band. And it was awesome. I had my first vinyl appearance as like a 14-year-old person through that band.
That's crazy.
What was
I know people on vinyl for the first time at 38, you know?
Dude, me too.
What was the
Right?
band?
They're out there.
It was a compilation put out by It's Alive Records called Localism.
Cool.
And it was just Oxnard, Ventura bands. And
What was the band called?
cool. It doesn't matter. That's not the statement. That's
Sick as hell.
the band name. And we were the last band on the comp, like
Yeah.
Localism.
Localism.
I've got a knack for finding these things.
I have a handful of them. I could give you one for sure.
I'm going to have a handful of them. This is perfect.
Comps used to be really fucking cool. When I was first getting into hardcore, there was a Chicago hardcore comp that Organized Crime Records did, and it's how I found like every single band that would go on to be important to me.
I loved comps. Around that same time, I got the New York Hardcore The Way It Is Revelation Records comp. And it was huge for me. It was the first time I heard Warzone, Bold, Youth of the Day, and any band on that comp. It was the first time I heard it.
And were you already straight edge by the time you joined It Doesn't Matter?
Probably.
Cool. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So Carry On comes quite a bit later.
Yeah.
Do you have any bands between then?
Yeah. We did It Doesn't Matter, and then we did another band which I don't know, didn't really do anything, but and then we did Stand Your Ground.
Right.
And then I joined Carry On in November of 1999.
Wow.
November of 99. And now we're here. But other than Carry On, are there band like you've dabbled in writing for other bands as well? The Ability song you wrote?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I love that song. If Birdie's listening, Birdie, you got to get on streaming. Some Blacklisted tracks you wrote? No. Just perform?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other bands we'd be surprised to hear Todd riffs in?
Australian band called No Apologies.
Really?
It's a great song.
Yeah, Survival.
Wow.
It's like a mid-tempo, like Cro-Mag song.
Hell yeah.
I think it's their best song. But we're here at Carry On. This is fantastic.
You know what's funny about Carry On before we get into it?
Please.
I obviously you think about it as like the verb to carry on, like go on, continue, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got done with all that flying, and I can only think of it now as like luggage. It's just a carry on.
It's a double entendre.
It's a double entente, man.
Were you going to ask where the name came from, Bo?
I would love to know if you know if there's
Yeah,
like a
I do.
specific thing.
I remember. So before there was Carry On, there was a band called Persevere, and it was Ryan, and Ryan lived up in Atascadero, and it was with some Atascadero, San Luis Obispo people, and they were kind of more like Undertow style.
Cool.
That's cool.
Like mid-90s chunky stuff, but also fast. And then they decided to change, like go more like straight edge hardcore fast, like Revelation Records stuff. And I remember talking to him outside the Showcase Theater. It's like, yeah, we're going to rename our band to Carry On, like, because we want to carry on the straight edge hardcore spirit.
Sick. Love it.
That's what Ryan told me.
Beautiful.
How long had Carry On existed before you joined?
Probably a year to a year and a half.
And
So they were out there gigging without you.
Yeah, I mean, they were great. I mean, they recorded this record called Stabbed in the Face, which had 4 songs on it, which was, at the time, it was really good. I mean, I would still enjoy it to this day. And then Ryan, something happened with all the members. And it was just Ryan and then 3 new guys, who was Jordan Johnson, Josh Luce, and I don't recall the drummer's name, but he was a good drummer. And they wrote all these new songs. And I think the intention was that they were going to keep the band name, even though it was a completely different band, because they didn't want to screw over the person putting out the 7-inch record that they had recorded.
Gotcha.
Because it wasn't out yet. So they kept the name and went forward. And I mean, they played a lot. They played a bunch of shows. There's actually a live recording that I have from a show that's very rare. Not only like maybe 5 people have it, and it's a whole bunch of pre-Line Is Drawn songs.
Wow. And
they're just as good as a Line Is Drawn.
Whoa.
And so, I mean, I could send it to you guys, but like,
we would love that.
It's fucking sick. They were so fucking good. They were my favorite local band, or maybe just my favorite California band.
So you joined your favorite California band.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's awesome.
And what was the lineup by the time you joined?
The lineup when I joined was Ryan on vocals, Corey on guitar. Corey joined before I did.
Corey Williams of
Corey Williams,
Internal
that's
Affairs,
right.
Piece by Piece.
Shout out Corey. Love
King.
you. Bass player Josh Luce, he was still in the band, and then a fella named Nat. I don't remember his last name, but Nat,
Sure,
and he was a good drummer. And before I joined, as the 7-inch, the Line Is Drawn was getting pressed. It had already been recorded a couple months prior, and then with that same lineup, like in June of 2000, we went and recorded the 7-inch, the Teamwork Records 7-inch with the tattoo flash on the front of it.
So tell me about, do you have any anecdotes or memories of writing and recording that Carry On 7-inch that you played on initially?
Yeah. I remember on a Friday, Corey and I, like, for some reason, drove to from the Valley. We were living at the Warner Center off of Topanga. We drove from there to Dave Mandel's house, or to Revelation Records where Dave worked. And when we drove from Dave's house we went from Revelation to Dave's house, and Dave played us some of the new records that he was going to be releasing. And one of them was Count Me Out 110. Yeah. It hadn't come out yet. And he played it for us. And I just like sat or laid on his bedroom floor listening to that record with my mouth like wide open. Like I couldn't fucking believe that this band was so good, so powerful, and sounded so much like Chain of Strength.
Wow.
So
this Count Me Out 7-inch changed the trajectory of.
Well, it was 110, so it was is their first album, like actual appropriate album. And then Corey and I, Corey was driving, I was riding shotgun with him. Drove from fucking Huntington Beach or Garden Grove to Woodland Hills in rush hour fucking Friday afternoon traffic, crazy. Got home in the living room of our apartment. You know, we had a PlayStation, and then there was Corey's Mesa Boogie dual rectifier amp, and he played Tony Hawk, and I just sat there fucking playing guitar for like an hour. And then I looked at him, I'm like, hey, does this sound cool? And I played the song Roll with the Punches.
Dude.
Just straight to start to finish.
Probably.
Just and did you? So the 7-inch version of that song compared to the LP version is like the 7-inch is a bit faster.
Okay.
I think if memory serves.
I believe you.
Did you write it to be like? Did you want it to be as fast as like the like that intro part is so fucking fast? Did you? I know that maybe you didn't even think about it, but did you prefer it quicker? Or did you want it? Did you think it was too fast when you eventually recorded it?
I didn't think about it, but also like I was very young and very new to recording, so I didn't think like that we should match the beats per minute from the Teamwork 7-inch to what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that shit was not recorded on a click, but I could have at least. We just recorded. I mean, you got also another thing. The person who played on the 7-inch and the person who played on the album are two different people.
Right.
So I think it was just all by feel. It was just like when we recorded it with Kurt Ballou for the second time, sounded fine to us.
Yeah. Did you record it live or was that track by track?
For the album or the 7-inch?
Both, to be honest.
So for the 7-inch, we recorded that in San Diego at a place called Double Time Studios, and I think we recorded it like instrument by instrument. So like I played the scratch guitar tracks while Nat played drums, and then we filled out everything else. And same thing at Kurt's, like I'm doing scratches and Lucas was playing the drums.
Huge. So Life Less Plagued finally rolls around. It's time to do an LP with this kind of the almost final lineup. It's like a modern straight edge landmark at this time. Universally renowned, as far as I know, as far as my circle goes. It comes out, you play on it for a few years, you break up.
We didn't play on it for a few years. We didn't even really.
A year?
Nah.
Well,
Like,
did it come on what, 03?
A month.
Interesting.
Like, so, all right, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
And this
Spoils of War just didn't get to be enjoyed at all.
I'll give you the dirt. We recorded that record by the end of April of 2001. The actual record release date for that record, if you look on like Amazon or whatever, is like October 16th, 2001. With that being said, we didn't play a show on that record until the first week of October. We had a 1 week, like weekend to weekend, so probably like 8 or 9 shows tour with The Hope Conspiracy, Over My Dead Body. God, there's another fucking band in there. No Warning played a couple shows.
Okay.
There's another band in there, but I'm forgetting it, and I'm sorry to the other band I forgot. But we did like a week-long like East Coast tour, and then like a week or two later, we played like a show at the Ojai Women's Center.
Okay.
And then
And how is the response to the record at this time?
dude, it was amazing. Like people really loved that record when it came out. Like we didn't really have a big following before that record came out.
Yeah.
Like I loved every show we played, but we would be playing, if we headlined a show, there'd be like 40 people there, which is fine. It's great.
Right.
But like when the record actually came out and people started hearing it, it was like, oh, this is real. This is like a real band. This is good.
Big time.
It felt like people really got into it. And then in December, we played like our last show at the Troubadour with Converge, Hope Conspiracy, and American Nightmare, and Planes Mistaken for Stars.
This is all within a less than a year span.
Yeah, it was like it all happened in 2001.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Big year for America.
But yeah, what else happened around that time?
I will say that. I don't know if that contributed to Carry On's breakup at all.
It did not.
Okay.
I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, but there was a How's Your Edge interview from way back in the day. And I remember being like, oh, it's the dude from Carry On. Like, I got to read this. And you mentioned something, and I've always wanted to ask you about this. You mentioned something about a sample of Seagulls potentially being on like new Carry On music that you would like demoed or something. Do you recall what I'm talking about?
We were going to do a split 7-inch with Striking Distance on Youngblood Records, and we had written like 3 songs. And at that point, like, I think Ryan and I had spun our wheels so much on that album that by the time we were like thinking about writing new songs, they had to be different. So we wrote like 2 or 3 songs, and I wish they still existed.
Yeah.
They didn't exist with vocals, but we had like demo recordings of them, and they were different. I mean, I can't say if they were good or bad.
Sure.
But they were different.
Yeah.
Where do the Seagulls come in?
Yeah, the Seagulls are just part of the magic.
I don't fucking though. Man.
I
was
swear.
19 years
You're
old.
on your
okay.
seagull shit, dude. It's all good. We get it.
Try to do something weird.
Of course. So why the breakup?
Well, Ryan stopped being straight edge.
There you have it, folks. And do you look back at that now as like, damn, we're silly. We should have just kept going.
It's a different time then.
Yeah.
You couldn't do something like that. That
And
going
let's
forward.
not kid ourselves. Part of the allure of Carry On was that like that it was over. Like that was kind of part of it was just like fuck, like I'm not gonna miss the next one. And it made for something, you know what I mean? So
You had to be there.
It wasn't in vain. What about the shirt with the lines on it, Todd? How'd you feel about that?
At the time,
Yeah, at the time.
I didn't feel very good about it.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
I think that's what I
I felt
would've guessed.
disrespected.
Yeah. Okay.
Also fair.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in the wild, so I don't know how many exist.
I've seen one, and it's navy blue. I think I've seen one.
One was taken off the back of a person.
Ooh.
There you go.
There
So
we
there's
go.
at least two, or there used to be.
I have one.
Todd, do you have a favorite track besides "Roll with the Punches"? Because I know you love that song. Do you have a favorite
Carry On?
track of Carry On? Yeah,
All of them.
you got to pick one.
I love Carry On.
I know,
Well,
as
one-
you should.
Yeah, the tune "Broken Strings." I think it's the third to last song on the album.
Great song.
Thank you.
Great song. My pick is "So Much of You." I loved that song.
Oh, I love that song.
It's so fucking good.
I'm an off my chest man because you
Yeah.
know I'm a double kick, crazy spin kick guy.
Well, it's a unique song on the album.
It
That's
is.
that's like it's. You've given every youth crew band and fast straight edge band this benchmark of like, well, we can have one. You know, we got to do the off my chest on the record. You know, it's a I feel like it's a noun, a verb, and an adjective all together now.
It's great.
We got to do the off my chest. Okay, you put one massive, insane
beat.
breakdown
Yeah.
on this positive, not super positive, but fast straight edge record, and it's okay because Carry On did it. So we
The
can too.
last mosh part's a little out of character for what we were doing.
That's why it's awesome.
Well, it worked.
It worked well.
It really worked. It-
Still works for me to this
Absolutely.
day. So Carry On breaks up. 2002 rolls around, and you're writing some songs with Nick Jett and what was the other fellow's name that co-founded?
Scott Vogel,
And Scott Vogel. What was the other guy?
John LaCroix.
John LaCroix. Right. Scott told us all about that. Who were you? Like, who poached Scott? I know John asked Scott to do it, but were you and Nick like, dude, ask the Buried Alive guy. That'd be awesome.
So this is what happened. December of 2001, Carry On breaking up. On John LaCroix's website, there was an advertisement that said, "I'm starting a band with Scott Vogel. We need a drummer."
So the concept was on his website with just him and Scott?
Yeah, but remember, it was a different time.
Totally.
It was just a different time. Like, so I got my brain working. I'm like, hey, I have an awesome drummer, but I got to play guitar too.
Fuck yeah.
And so we got together with John, wrote a song, sent it to Scott, and Scott was like, okay, this is cool, but I want something a little more like, I know you're from Carry On. I really like the new Carry On album. I want something a little more in tune with that. Because the song that we wrote with John was probably more like Buried Alive influenced.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And so we're like, okay, well, we can certainly do that. So Scott was living in Arizona at the time,
Right.
and he drove out to California, and we got in a room, the three of us. John couldn't make the rehearsal. So we got in a room, just started. The first song we wrote was Another Face.
Mm-hmm.
And then Terror's born.
Yeah,
And that's that.
it was dope.
Beautiful. And Terror's emergence, like if you look back at flyers at that time, the first couple shows, like Piece by Piece, is over Terror, but Terror's like direct support every show. It emerged as this established thing of like, okay, these guys paid their dues and Buried Alive and Carry On, and was clearly working right off the bat. The songs were good. The reactions were good. What do you remember of that time? Just the reactions to things like the demo and Lowest of the Low.
It was overwhelming because Scott was very connected in like for lack of a better term, like, you know, he was on a band in Victory Records,
Yeah.
which at the time was like a really big fucking deal.
Big time.
Like a really like, just a really big label, really elevated. And the Carry On world was not like that world.
Right.
And the Bridge 9 world was not really like that world. But regardless, like I had my connections in the Carry On world. He had his connections in the Buried Alive Victory Records world. And it was an interesting pairing at the beginning that totally worked, but it had so much reach at the time.
That you weren't used to.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people that, I mean, there's just people were into it. People were backing it. You know, I mean, Scott and even myself was like we were hustlers.
Yeah.
Like Scott was getting our demos out everywhere. Like I think he sent like 100 demos to Philadelphia to get passed out by his friends. Like
Wow.
we were just sending demos everywhere and like giving shirts to anybody, like not anybody, but like somebody was in a band we'd make sure we gave them a shirt.
Smart.
Like it was just, and it was cool. We traveled a lot and it was dope for sure.
It was a little bit before my time, and I think you were still playing with the band, Todd, if I'm not mistaken. But Jim Grimes' birthday in Chicago.
Yeah, November of 2002.
You're amazing.
So that's the same year. The demo's out. You're playing Jim Grimes' birthday in a couple months later.
And that is like an infamous, like, for everyone who was there, James was there. Like I just missed it, you know. My first show
was it a skate park or was it a YMCA?
It was a skate park.
Okay.
And like my first hardcore show was 2003, you know, but when I came around, people were talking about like, it was a sea change. It was just like nothing else mattered. It was Terror. Like that was the style. That was everything.
It was a sea change. I
Yeah.
mean, because I remember like Trustkill Records, like those bands were very, very popular. Like those were like the popular bands in hardcore at the time. And by the time of end of 2002 and 2003, those bands were still very popular, but it was also like, oh, there's this other thing that's happening here.
Absolutely.
Like bands like Terror, The Promise, Death Threat really had their wings then too. What other bands? It just seemed like there was emergence of quote unquote real hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know. For lack of a better term, I don't know what else to call it.
Do you attribute that and Terra's success to the hunger for quote unquote real hardcore? Or do you attribute it to the essentially marketing that you guys are doing by handing out your demos and shirts and stuff like that?
I attribute it to what people wanted.
Yeah. I think
Like
so too.
I think like 1999 to 2002, like the Trustkill stuff was probably very interesting for a lot of people and probably for people between the ages of 20 and 25 because it was like fresh and it was new. But then after a while, they probably got tired of that and wanted just to listen to fast parts and mosh parts and shit. I don't really know. Like I was only like 20 to 21 years old at that time. So like I was still like a very fresh face and still like experiencing things like for the first time.
So are you learning a lot from Scott on like the marketing side and stuff from this? Because you're talking about giving the people what they want. And that's a thing you talk about to this day. And that's been your ethos kind of since I've known you. That's like your writing superpower to me as I've seen you start new bands is knowing what people want at the right time.
Well, this is the thing, like if you're able to find yourself in a good band that people like, people attach themselves to, like, don't take a fucking U-turn and go the other way and disappoint them. I mean, do what you're passionate about doing, but if you're doing this band and people like it and you're passionate about doing it, just fucking stay on that road and just do it. And you know, you're lucky. You got people who like what you do. Give them more. That's all people want. Like if you're in a band and people like it, they just want you to do it again.
Amen. Do it again, but better. Right?
If you're a really creative person and you can't, there's a lot of great bands out there that they don't put out the same record twice.
Right.
And like, that's something to be respected and appreciated and acknowledged. But I think there's a lot of bands who maybe they can't make the same record twice, but they also can't make a second record that's quality wise as good as the first one, or maybe their fans maybe it is as good, but their existing fans just don't really care for it.
Absolutely true.
I you know, as far as Nails goes, where I know we're not there yet, but like Nails was made to be a band like that. Like Nails was made to incite the feeling of slam dancing, moshing, stage diving. And I wanted Nails to be a band like Slayer or Motorhead, where if a new record comes out, like you don't have to guess what it's going to sound like.
You're getting a Nails record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God it's a Nails record. This is the first review. That's good shit.
I mean, you said
that was very eloquent
on the kind of mini doc stuff that you're doing around You Will Never Be One of Us. There's like a portion where you're talking about like, yeah, we don't need this part. We don't need that part. Give them the part. Give them what they want and make that a song. And like,
I got some anecdotes specifically about a couple of those a little later.
Okay. You were very around.
I was very around. There's one part that I think was in 5 different songs on Abandon All Life and ended up closing You Will Never Be One of Us. You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of, yeah. There's definitely one riff that there's I don't know about that one, but like the Wide Open Wound riff, that same riff is in the song God's Cold Hands. It just played with a blast beat under it.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic. And you wouldn't know that unless you're playing it.
No.
Yep.
Can't wait. Now they know.
Now they know.
Can't wait to get there in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Before then, Lowest of the Low.
Yeah.
Tell me what you remember about writing, recording, and touring on it. Because are you hitting the road hard when this comes out?
So I would say the first song for Lowest of the Low was probably written in December of 2001 or January of 2002. We played our first show on April 26th, 2002 at Pat's Warehouse in Ventura. For that show, we had our demo CDs available. So we must have recorded that sometime in February or March at Nick's studio, pressed up the demo CDs, played our first show in April. We did our first tour in like June.
Yeah.
So like 2 months. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like 2 months
fast.
after the dude. Yeah. Like Scott was determined and we were determined. And the idea was that we were going to do a band. And I don't want to say we were going to make a living off of it, but we were going to do our band and that's what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Like we're Terror. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. And so 4 of those songs came off the demo. Mm-hmm. And then before that June tour, we had recorded 2 other songs, which was I Don't Need Your Help and Push It Away.
Oh.
And Scott McGrath, who now does Maggot Stomp, was doing a label at that time called Takeover Records, and he pressed like 1,500 or 2,000 one-sided 7-inches of those 2 songs, and we had them for that June or July tour. So those 2 songs, so now we're talking 6 songs. Mm-hmm. So, and then we wrote 3 more songs, which was Keep Your Distance.
Mm-hmm.
You're such a good guy to interview. It's insane. Every ounce of information is loaded.
Better Off Without You.
Yeah.
Huge.
And then the last song we wrote was Low So Low, which we had finished in the studio. But we had booked time at Mars Recording Studios outside of Cleveland with Bill Korecki. R.I.P. In September. And so around those recording dates, we had scheduled a Canadian tour with The Promise and A Death for Every Sin, and we played Ontario or London, Ontario, maybe Toronto, and definitely Montreal. And then from Montreal, we drove to Cleveland and recorded that record. And that was one of my favorite records to record because not only because, like, one of the reasons why we chose Bill Korecki is because he had done so much work that we liked on Ringworm Records and Integrity Records. And so we wanted to go have a recording experience with him and have his production with our music.
2 weeks in a row of Bill Korecki recording talk. This is good.
That's crazy.
Oh, because Earth Crisis.
Yeah,
they recorded Firestorm there. Did they record All Out War
on tour? I think it was just Firestorm.
Yeah,
okay, rad.
Just Firestorm.
That's a great 7-inch. Yeah. So we recorded with Bill Korecki, and one of my favorite things about that recording was the fact that we had been touring those songs for months.
Oh,
so you guys were incredible at playing them.
Yeah. Like it was the most prepared recording session I have ever done and I will probably ever do in my life.
Wow.
Like I know, like Low So Low was firmed up in the recording studio, but all those other 8 songs, we had played them many times.
And you can tell just on the record, your right hand, dude. Bo's dad still talks about it to this day. So that was your first European tour ever on Low So Low?
Yeah.
How did you like that?
Oh, it was awesome. So in April of 2003, we toured Europe with, so we went to Europe and we played like maybe a week or a week and a half worth of shows with Born From Pain. And then we joined up with Biohazard.
Right.
Because we went out there because we got offered a Biohazard tour.
On a bus,
So
right?
my first European tour, besides the first week and a half, it was on a bus.
Oh,
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Did you have a good time or did you hate it?
Both.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I quit Terror on that tour.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
So this is on this tour supporting Low So Low before One of the Underdogs is out. You quit Terror.
Yeah, but like when I just told him, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to tour anymore. I didn't like touring, at least at that level. I love touring, but I like doing 2 weeks at a time. And so, you know, Terror was a band that had ambition, that wanted to tour 9 months out of the year. And I learned very quickly, it's like, I don't know if this life is for me.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I'm like, I'm going to fulfill our touring obligations up until the end of August or September or something. So I did that, and I was like, okay, well, we'll write a record again too. So we wrote one with the Underdogs together. We recorded that at Sound City in Van Nuys.
Right up the road, baby.
You took me to the lot at least.
I did, yeah. How did you like recording there?
I loved it.
Yeah. It's a cool room.
Yeah, a lot of history.
A lot of history. Was the Elton John piano in there?
No.
It was for me. Tell me about recording. What is it like to write and record a record knowing you're not going to be in the band when it's out? It's like Carry On again.
It was fine during the duration, but once the record was out, like I got a little sad that I have an opportunity to play those songs live.
Yeah, of course.
It's fair.
Yeah, but otherwise it was fine. I love making music, so
you're good at it.
To specify what Colin mentioned earlier about my dad, I showed him one of the first things I learned to play like triplets and gallops to was Spit My Rage. And I showed it to him and I was like, I'm trying to figure this out. And my dad like listened to it. My dad's he has like a recording studio in his basement in his house. He's a record producer for Christian stuff, but he knows about recording and music and blah, blah. And he listened to it with me and he went, well, you only got to play it once in the studio. Because he like didn't believe that somebody could do and like just keep playing it, implying that you copied and pasted. But
did you copy and paste it?
Fuck no, absolutely fucking not.
I knew.
No,
That's
you
what's
didn't.
up.
Yeah,
We knew you didn't.
yeah, I knew.
But it's confirmed. Bo's dad. You hear that?
Yeah, damn.
It's real. So
I went to the school of Slayer, baby.
see, he went to the school of fucking. What's a Christian guy? Creed or something.
Yeah.
So that's why like the Carry On tune, Roll with the Punches, it's like the tremolo picking. I got all that from fucking Slayer.
Yeah.
And also though, like Inside Out did that too. Like Victor Cara, like on that, that Inside Out. There's like a lot of Slayerisms on that EP.
Cool.
And I mean, I love that EP. I think it's one of the best hardcore records of that genre. But I mean, I'm just trying to say, I wasn't the first person to fucking do it, but that's where I learned how to do all that stuff was Metallica and Slayer.
Yeah.
And Slayer loved Minor Threat.
Yeah, certainly.
So it's all this big through line of the same stuff. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So you leave Terror. You got in between. You got Betrayed. You got Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Any other bands I'm forgetting in that time?
Internal Affairs.
Internal Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
My God, you never stopped.
I love
making bangers.
The Snake Eyes demo. I loved it. I played.
You heard the 7-inch?
No, probably.
Dude, the 7-inch is like, oh, Nails is coming.
Oh, interesting.
It's awesome.
Maybe not then. I specifically remember I got the demo because Donnybrook played a Chicago heist, like a fest that used to happen out here that Shane Merrill does or did. And I got it.
Bo had him with him.
And I got it. Yeah. And what's funny is I definitely didn't meet anyone or know anything, but that's for sure where I got it. That's awesome. I for sure also went, oh, Todd Jones is in this. I have to get it.
That'll do it. Tell me about putting Betrayed together, Snake Eyes, your time in IA. Any songs or riffs you wrote for those that you think of fondly now?
Well, we did Betrayed, and we did that the first EP, and
Addiction.
That's right.
I really like that EP.
I think that record's really good.
I think the last one is too, dude.
The album?
Yeah, the 7-inch, the last 7-inch. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's called Substance.
Dude, the Substance title track, verse riff and chorus riff, is like, I think that's Todd sitting down and playing guitar naturally. That's
oh, that song.
I love
that song. That's like that song is probably my favorite Betrayed song.
Mine too.
Right.
And that's pure Todd riffage right there. Like that's you warming up at the gig before Nails plays. You're doing that one. I love that song.
Real quick, with Betrayed, did you play with Betrayed like the whole time?
Yes and no. They went to Europe once and I didn't go with them.
Did you play Burning Fight in Chicago?
2009.
Dude,
I was there.
So I'm looking at the flyer, and he's right about 2009. By the way, Colin, you have
he's good, man.
You have competition
April 2009.
when it comes to
I got nothing on him. He's got dates. I got years.
Colin, listen. I want you to just listen to this lineup though, just to hear how stacked this was. It was one day. 2 days. Unbroken, Converge, Disembodied, Bane, Trial 108, Killing Time, Reach the Sky, Ringworm, Have Heart, Blacklisted, Damnation AD, Split Lip, Soul Control, Threadbare, Harm's Way, Convicted, Betrayed, Guilt, Underdog, The Killer, and Thought Crusade. And that Underdog set like changed my life. That was like the one that I've talked about where people were dancing a mass movement. But it's funny that we didn't know each other at all at that point. We hadn't met yet, Todd. But I definitely watched Betrayed. I was there the whole fucking time, you know. So it's funny to think that because I didn't get to see you in Terror. I didn't get to see you in Carry On, but I saw you in Betrayed. That was my first TJ moment.
I thought you said you saw Terror at the Jim Grimes birthday.
No, it was right before my time. I had heard about it like legends.
His greatest regret in life is missing Jim Grimes' birthday.
I was
25 to Life played Jim Grimes' birthday.
Oh, don't
when
say
they were
that.
still good.
Don't say that 3 times.
Someone might appear.
Hey Rick, I know you're watching. How you doing?
Who's that?
So then, shortly after this, you co-found a little thing called Sound and Fury.
Yeah.
Sounds like a massive undertaking and a huge pain in the ass.
It was rad.
Okay.
Cool.
I went to the first. Were you part of the first 3 or 4?
4.
First 4. I went to every single one of them. Had the best time. Tell me about.
What was your favorite one?
Of those 4, I think the Trapped Under Ice set 2008 is an all-time like teenage memory for me.
Rad.
And then seeing Taylor play for Nails in 2009
Rad.
is a beautiful memory.
That was my favorite one, the last one.
It was incredible.
Well,
the Oxnard.
not the last one.
Yeah,
but the last one that I was part of. Yeah.
And how long was the gap there? Was 2012 or 11 the next one?
I think it might have been 2010.
10, yeah. 10 was
just
back
right
at the
after.
Alpine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was just different folks running it.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about those first few, putting them together. What was that like?
Well, Bob, all right. So what had happened was there was a festival in California that was occurring for the last like 2 or 3 years. And there were a bunch of bands that were trying to book out their summer tour, and they were trying to book it around that other festival, assuming that they would likely be playing it. But the organizer was not getting back to folks, like just kind of dropping the ball. And so I think Bob was like, hey, this is happening. Because Bob was working at Revelation Records at the time, and he was working with not a lot, but a handful of those bands that would have been doing something. And Bob's like, hey, I don't know if he called Riley first or if he called me first, but he reached out to the both of us and says, hey, maybe we should consider doing a festival because it doesn't look like this other one. It looked like it might not happen. So
And why you two? Were you guys just talking all the time?
I was definitely talking to Riley on a regular basis, and I was definitely talking to Bob, but I'm not sure if the 3 of us were hanging out at the same time yet.
He just had this. He had this vision. I need these 2 guys.
Yeah, Bob's a guy who just gets shit done.
Right.
He's
He's
a
Bob Shed of
Bob Shed.
Axe
Shout
to
out
Grind.
Bob.
was history. And it's incredible to see what it has become since.
Yeah, it's amazing now. It's I can't. Well, I mean, it was amazing then, but like now, it's like at a whole different level. Like I can't even wrap my head around it. I got a lot of respect for those guys, but at the time, it was just like Bob called me up and Riley, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna do this thing. So we did it. Got a venue, booked some bands, and did it for a couple of years, and then didn't do it for a couple of years, and then Riley wanted to do it again, and he called me and Bob up, and I had nails going on, and I just had a full plate, so I couldn't really do it. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing to see what it is now. It's amazing to see what it's turned into.
That is like one of the earliest things. Like now we all have like favorite sets and like favorite things that we'll look up on YouTube or whatever and watch, Early Posse numbers and early Sound and Fury sets of bands are like some of the first things I would like look up, and like my earlier memories of like just watching and like.
When I was 18, I flew out to Posse numbers to go see Right Brigade.
Really? Which year would that have been?
2000.
Wow. 2000.
I saw No Justice and Right Brigade back to back, and that like both infamous sets.
Yeah. Fuck.
And now there's a whole generation of people who like get into hardcore from Sound and Fury live videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Who like see a clip and go, I want to dedicate my life to this thing now, which is incredible.
That's great.
Pardon this interruption. We're so sorry to interrupt this incredible episode, but we got to talk to you about Mad Vintage real quick. Because every band we've discussed on this show, you can buy a shirt from them right now at maddvintage.com.
I'm on that site all the time. I'm hunting. I'm perusing. I'm finding things you wouldn't imagine.
Gold. I've been looking for my entire life is there. Grails. Holy grails. And you can sell your stuff to Luke too. He's always looking, and we want it. So if you're looking for something, movies, hip hop, metal, hardcore, rock, anything, Luke's got it. If you use code HardLore15, you're going to get 15% off.
Say that again.
15% off, and some of this stuff adds up, man. You're going to want to get on it.
It adds up. He's also going to be at LDB Tied Down Furnace Fest this year. All of those.
Maybe some other ones. We might be working on getting him into some other things. I have this plan of this. I've got a plan for Luke. I got to get my people outfitted with the greatest shirts in the world, Well, so before I do that, you all have the chance to do it. Don't mess this up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't dawdle. The shirt you've been looking for your entire life is on there.
It's on there.
This episode is also brought to you by Guilty Party.
Oh.
The best menswear store in North America, co-owned by the drummer of Foundation. Can you believe that?
I can't.
What would we be without Guilty Party? We would be slobs.
Yeah, slovenly.
We'd be slumming it up in the alleyways outside.
Be wearing Levi's.
But instead, we got the greatest denim in the world, Ironheart. I got this new full count pair I can't believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're both rocking the Ironheart engineer pants.
Yes. Dude, that has changed the game.
I know.
I don't want to take them off. I won't take them off. So you're going to have to take them off me, or you're going to have to get them yourself. Go to guiltyparty.co. Use code HardLore. You're going to get 10% off. And if your order's over $300, which it probably will be because this stuff is built to last your entire life, you're going to get free shipping too.
They're constantly getting new stuff. They're constantly updating their site. It's hardcore owned. It's within the family. What more do you need?
Quit blowing your crotch out.
Yeah.
Buy some stuff that will last you forever. Mm-hmm. Sound and Fury 2009, like I said, was the second time I saw Taylor play for Nails. So let's talk about the origin of Nails. Let's get into this.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt, but isn't there, like, was Knife Fight in between? Weren't you playing with Knife Fight?
I started playing with Knife Fight, I think, in 2009, so I'd already been doing Nails.
Got you. Okay. So sorry. I thought I had my timeline in order. My bad.
No apology necessary.
Obscene
buddy.
Humanity
yes.
is first. The highly underrated record. If you've not heard it, I think it's fully on streaming now, right?
Not on streaming, but the
Redux.
Yeah.
The
Redux
Redux version?
We're going to keep that off streaming. Just physical copies are available.
That's what's up.
I did request that it go on Bandcamp. I'm not sure if it's there. If it's not, it will be soon.
We'll see. So who is the original ensemble that you recruit for Nails? How do you find John Glue?
So before we talk about Nails, I think it's important to talk about I joined Blacklisted in I think the winter of 2007 going into 2008. They had just put out the Heavier Than Heaven. No, they had just put out Peace on Earth, War on Stage 7-ish. Or they had just recorded it.
I think they debuted that right before Sound and Fury 2007. I remember I bought the shirt and the record.
Okay, so then I joined, I can't remember, but I joined that band and I played with Blacklisted for about 9 months and toured with them, toured a lot of different places. And it was, and I learned a lot from them as far as the way they looked at music and also the way that they kind of kept to themselves. They were very independent, and a lot of their attitude, something that I adopted. And I was living in California, and I couldn't really afford to not have a job. I was like not working for a year, and I couldn't afford to not have a job. My savings ran out, and so I had a choice. I could either stay in California and work and do whatever it is I'm going to do here, or I could move to Philadelphia and be in Blacklisted. And I chose to stay in California. With that being said, I always think about Blacklisted as like
pivotal step in your story.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So did you play on Heavier Than Heaven?
I played on it, but I didn't write anything.
Now, can you confirm or deny whether or not you recorded guitars laying down on the couch at God City?
I don't think so. I think that rumor of me recording guitars laying down.
Yeah,
I think that came from when I recorded the Betrayed 7-inch, like the first 7-inch.
So did you lay down for the Betrayed 7-inch?
For some of it, yeah.
You know what else I know that you laid down to make it real?
Yeah.
Abandon All Life.
I don't know if that's
for part of it.
No.
Taylor
told me there's at least a song on Abandon All Life that was recorded lying down to make it real.
Well, again,
if he says it, then it's true.
On the You'll Never Be One of Us thing, there's video of him doing it. But I think you were looking for tone. I think you were just
that's
like,
the thing. Listen, I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit. I'm not a tone guy. I'm not good at finding tone. I'll get a distorted amp. I'll turn the gain up. Put my HM2 on. That's all I do.
Perfect.
I don't fuck with the knobs. I don't do anything. With that being said, I love middle.
Yeah.
You love middle.
I love mids.
Wow. It's very important.
It's all about the mids.
Very important.
But now with that being said,
the perceived volume that you get from bumping your mids is crazy.
But then sometimes
it's the clarity.
Yes. All of a sudden you can hear it. It's really crazy. Yeah.
See, I feel like I suck ass when I got the mids cranked, so I hide them.
Oh yeah,
so
the mids will show. The mids will. You can't hide from the mids.
I like the lows, baby. Cover me in bass. Even with fast punk, I need that so that they can't hear what I'm doing.
Which is why Megadeth is kind of the craziest one, because they were all mids and playing all that shit.
That's proficiency.
Guitars at the front. Yeah,
pretty crazy.
So that video you're talking about. I mean, I wouldn't say I have a bad back, but when I'm like sitting up playing guitar for fucking hours while Kurt is doing this to amps and fucking at the console,
lay down.
I get tired, but I still got to play. I just lay down and play.
I love it.
Fuck it.
Incredible. This is huge. This is life. People have been waiting years for this information.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have.
I knew this has been a rumor. Taylor told me about it years ago. Yeah.
So there you go. It's both debunked and confirmed at the same time.
Oh, can you play guitar without looking at the frets?
Yeah.
Then you can play guitar lying down too.
Yeah, you're right. Oh wow.
Give it a shot.
All right.
And
right now.
Send a video and put it in.
Right now.
Steven, here it is. All right, so you assemble the original Nail Squad, which is John Glue, and who was on drums?
Tom Hogan.
Tom Hogan. And you made a great record. Where do you find John? I know he played in Rad.
John. I mean, I met John in like 2006. So when I hit him up to be in Nails, like he was already around for like a couple years. John was in Rad, which was a legit, really good band, local band, and then he was in the band after Rad, which was Fell Too Low.
Oh yeah,
which was a really good band. They have an album on Revelation Records. Everybody listening to this should go check it out. With that being said, I always thought of John as like just an individual. Like he was just himself. I thought he was real. I thought he had and he still does, has like just a really good spirit, not a clone, just himself. And I wanted to be in a band with him because of that.
Wow.
And that's still him to this day.
100%.
Yeah.
He wanted to surprise you at that Blasco show.
I was so surprised and so happy.
How
he came.
awesome was that?
I was so happy.
John,
it was lovely.
John, if you're watching,
you
we
got
love
him.
you. Tom Hogan, was he in Knife Fight?
Tom was in 108.
108.
Oh, wow.
But the thing is, I was living in Carpinteria at the time. You know, John was living in Ojai, and then Tom was in Santa Barbara. And at the time, it was really important for me to be in a band with local people. I didn't want to have to deal with flying anybody out. And I also wanted to rehearse and get like a good musical chemistry going on with the people in my band. So it was important to me that like people were like somewhat like close. So, you know, and Tom's rad dude, rad drummer. So it was just cool.
And he ends up playing 3 shows, I think, or something like that.
With Nails?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember how many shows we played.
It was a small batch.
I think Taylor's first show was like
Murder Fest?
no, it was Sound and Fury.
Was it?
Yeah, but that was like Nails' 9th or 10th show at that time.
Okay.
You remember the Murder Fest you played where you threw Obscene Humanity LPs to the front of the stage before you played?
I didn't throw them. I gently laid them down. Because I was just like, there were like fucking 20 people there in like a.
It was
in a
me and
500
19
capacity
people,
room.
and it was like it's 5 or 6 people looking at each other and like slowly going up and taking the records before anybody else could. It was awesome.
I was just like, I think a stack of records. I was like, if anybody wants some, come get one.
Cool move.
Yeah, that's awesome. Damn.
So how do you find Taylor? Taylor was he's 4 years older than me. This is 2009, so he's 20, 19, I think, 20.
Jesus.
He's posted on the message boards. You know, he was in the band Crematorium before that, so you knew he could blast, which I think was a big factor. And you find this biohazard loving kid from the Valley in Connecticut. How do you guys get in contact, and how do you make that connection?
Well, I mean, I have memories of speaking to Taylor online. I think somewhere like in 2003 or 2004. Like I think we had each other's AOL Instant Messenger name.
Mm-hmm.
And we would chat every now and then, and he was a dude, you know, like he was around on message boards at shows. You know, I knew him, he knew me, and I knew he could play drums like very well. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just think one day hey, he may have offered his services. Like we were on that Murder Fest because of him.
Because he was in Crematorium, right?
Yeah,
which was booked by Dan Dismal.
He was like, hey, do you want to play this? I'll put you guys on there. Like, Nails was already a band, and he was, like, cool to me.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, it just made sense. I was like, yeah, I want to play with you. And that's the same thing with John. Like, like, before Taylor Young was Taylor Young, the recording engineer, or, like, he's the guy now.
Yeah.
But when he joined Nails, like, that was before he had made a name for himself, really. And I saw the same thing in him that I saw in John. I was like, this is somebody who is unapologetically themselves. Good musician. I like their outlook on how they thought about music. I'm like, this is somebody I want to play in a band with.
Totally. And a year later, Unsilent Death is born. And like, this is where I really witness Nails become Nails, I feel like.
Unsilent Death was where Nails has found our sound.
100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it at the time, can't believe it now. And I think the world really felt the same. I remember
Real quick, today is the 15th anniversary of that record coming out. Today.
That's
holy shit.
Fucking crazy.
15 years ago, we were playing the Ojai Valley Women's Center with Dry Rot and a couple, I can't remember the other bands, forgive me, other bands.
March 12th,
Charman
2000
or something.
2010.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Do you remember when John...
If you're laughing, I know it's going to be good.
John, can you picture the Charman logo in your head?
Yeah. It says
remember?
Fire.
John called him the Charman Fire guy.
Okay.
And I was like, do you mean the Charman? And John was like, oh my God.
No, because there's lore around that.
Is there?
Yeah, like there's, I can't explain it, but there's like a guy in Ojai who died.
He's the Charman, right? Was that what he was called?
I don't know what he had a name for sure. He was like a living person, you know?
The Charman Fire guy, basically saying the same thing in 2 different meanings twice, has always stuck with me and killed me. Yeah. So Unsilent Death is magical. What can you tell me about that era, putting those songs together with that kind of core trio at the time? Did something click that in you and with the group that really made you think like, okay, this is Nails now? Like, was there a song you guys put together where you were like, oh, I think we found it?
No, I don't think I realized we found our sound until the record was done.
Oh,
like
really?
I knew I had an intent and a vision that I wanted to complete, and it was I just wanted to exist, and I wanted to make a record that that every song had intent, and also that like a very narrow field. Like, I didn't want to experiment. I didn't want to do something out of left field. I just wanted it to be like a super aggressive punk, like, metal record.
I can tell you where it started for me, and it was fucking and that
was one of the last songs we wrote on the record. So when Taylor and I first got together, we went. He had a room, a lockout at the East 7th.
Yeah, the warehouse where
downtown rehearsal.
Yeah, Mike Patton's Fantomas or something was in the room across the hall. Asked Crematorium to close the door one time. That was cool. Yeah.
So he had a room there, and I'm like, okay, I have 4 or 5 songs, and we're gonna demo them right now. Or Taylor and I had discussed that we're gonna go there. I was play him songs, and we're gonna demo them, and he still has them. I still have them too, but we demoed like Scum Will Rise, Your God, Suffering Soul, Apart from Depths, and like another, like a B-side, a song that didn't really make it on the record maybe. And so we were knocked out like 4 songs off the record right there.
One practice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then and at the time, Taylor was very focused on doing Twitching Tongues and maybe something else. And John was very focused on Fell to Low. So both of them kind of joined the band on the basis that it was going to be a side project for them, at least. And I was fine with that because I just needed musicians to make this record. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to make this record and this is probably going to be done. We had played 9 or 10 shows at the time. We had no business asking a record label for thousands of dollars. So I was like, I want to go record this record. I want to record it with Kurt, and I'm just going to put it out myself.
Street Cleaner Records, baby.
That's right, yeah. And it was a joint release between Street Cleaner and 6 Feet Under. But I remember asking Taylor and John, I'm like, look, we're going to go fly to Boston and go record with Kurt. Right. And, Taylor was I think he was pretty stoked on that because, as an aspiring, at the time, as a younger recording engineer, going out to record with Kurt is a big deal. Yeah. So
I think he would tell you that he learned more from Kurt than anybody.
I think he shared that information. And the only time I've ever asked them to put in their own money into the band was just buy your airfare. I'll take care of everything else. Or they probably took care of their own food too. But yeah, we recorded the record.
You did a good job. And 15 years later, here we are still talking about it.
That's amazing. We met shortly thereafter.
That's right.
A
year later. Where did we meet? In Europe or
no? Well, we met in Chicago. Nails played the Double Door.
Oh yeah.
And I think we knew the European tour was going to happen already. And you either emailed me or texted me or something and asked if I knew where you could get an HM2. I don't know if you remember that. It was it was like last minute.
We needed one on that tour.
Yeah. And I don't think I found you one, but I definitely was like, oh.
Really?
Oh God.
Something really cool you guys did with the Unsilent Death tour was you guys just out by yourselves for a month.
That's true.
Tell me about that tour.
Well, I had quit Unsilent Death had come out and people liked it, but I didn't know how well received it was. But regardless, I was like, I want to tour this. Like, I really love this record. I love this band. Like, I want to tour this and treat it like a real thing, not just like some fucking side project. So I quit my job in June, and then the tour was booked for most of August and some of September, or most of September and some of, I can't remember. But somewhere in that summer, we did like a 5-week tour, and playing for $150 a night and headlining. Like, at the time, whatever world I was connected to, whatever you want to call it, I didn't really want to play shows with those bands. I kind of wanted to do my own thing. Like Nails is Nails at the time was a reflection of me wanting to play like more like heavier and brutal stuff, not like in a mosh way, but in like a fast, hardcore, antisocial way. And at the time, it was just, I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something else than what my peers were doing.
And touring by yourself was definitely that. And I can
it was
tell
the only
you,
thing we could do.
I think maybe when it was recorded, Taylor looked at it as a side project, but we had a conversation after Unsilent Death came out that was very much like, hey man, this is working, I gotta do this. And I was like, I get it. Well,
Oh, rad.
so he was very much.
Oh, Taylor was dedicated.
He was dedicated.
100%.
Big time.
I have nothing. Yeah, 100%.
A couple funny things before we move on to Abandon All Life that I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly when this happened, but do you remember your Beats pill era?
I saw a Beats. So is that a pill? Is that the Bluetooth speaker?
The little Bluetooth speaker.
Did that come during this? No,
I think it was
it.
later, but I just got to talk about the Beats pill era real quick. Todd would get to the gig, fire up the Beats pill, gather the troops, and just put music on. And be like, shh, listen to this riff. And it was all this Beats. Dude, the Beats pill was revolutionary in the Nails camp.
What would I play? Like my own
Dude,
riffs?
like,
or
no,
just-
it'd be like Slayer and just the coolest, just whatever you were into.
Dude, I bring a Bluetooth speaker with me on every show I play.
You still do it.
Yeah, I have to.
So the spirit of the Beats pill lives on.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know this was a thing, but
It was a thing for me just because you telling me like, yo, I got this Beats pill. It's unbelievable.
I gotta listen to music before I, do my
Yeah.
thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have before? And I have a funny one. If you don't, a single John Glue anecdote that comes to mind?
Fuck, there's so many. It's like when someone asks you a question, your mind goes blank.
I'm gonna give you one.
He's so funny.
He's one
so
of the funniest people in the world. I'm gonna give you one. On a nail store, heckling people outside of the window. John is not very good at it. He's an amateur yeller.
But that's why he's good at
That's
it.
why he's good at it. So we're just talking shit to people outside of the window.
What do you mean talking shit to people?
Just yelling at people, you know?
Like the band's playing?
No, like passersby,
Oh, okay.
strangers on the street,
Okay,
people
very
we'd
good.
never see again. And we're like, John, you try one. And there's a girl wearing white pants.
Oh, dude, I remember this. I remember this.
And he goes, hey, are those your white pants? And that was it.
Yeah.
And then Austin Crane was doing it, and he was vicious with it.
Oh, dude.
And you were like, Austin, can you like do a nice one? And he goes, hey, to an old lady. He goes, hey, have a nice day. And then you guys all laugh, and he goes, you old bitch.
Dude, I have a very vivid memory of touring with Felt to Low when we were in Seattle, and Austin Crane yells out it was a main street, but it was like a residential area.
Yeah.
And there's someone walking their fucking dogs, and he just starts fucking barking at them. And the dogs go crazy, and the person holding the leash is like, what the fuck?
Another brilliant comedic mind, Austin Crane.
Austin's funny.
All
as
right,
hell.
I got a couple because then Todd and I met proper and we did the Rise and Fall of Nails Harm's Way European tour. It was our first time to Europe. Had you been back to Europe, Todd, since the Terror tour?
Yeah.
Okay, you'd been because you were like when we first met at the airport. You were very much like, all right, we got to go here. Okay, they're gonna get us. Like you were very like on point. Like you knew what was happening.
Oh, I wasn't taking any shit from anybody on that tour. Because I had been to Europe before, and I took a lot of shit from dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I wasn't having it.
You told us right away.
I still don't have it.
Yeah, you told us right away, and it's something.
I'm an American in Europe. I'm not gonna do what you want. Like, there's a lot of bullshit. As an American touring Europe, like, there's a lot of bullshit you got to deal with.
There is, and then you
I'm
got
not
to
gonna
remember,
fucking
like,
tolerate any of it.
like you're all working for me, you know, essentially.
Dude, the van rental. We're paying for the van. We're paying for the fucking driver. Driver, you're taking us to where we want to go.
Yeah.
When we want to fucking go there.
Literally,
And I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but it's like there's so much resistance from these guys.
Yeah.
It's like, remember who's fucking paying the bill here, dog.
I want to see the catacombs. Take me now.
I don't think we hit Paris on that one.
No, we didn't. But one of the first things you told us was like, remember, they work for us. Like that, we're on our way to the first show to load in for the first night, and you're like, they work for us. But I also remember dude.
Did we have to flex that at any time?
No, because we had Turkish and another guy, and they were cool.
Oh, Turkish rule.
Yeah,
they were cool. They were very point A to point B, you know. But
dude, imagine being your birth name being Attila Turak.
Yeah,
pretty hard.
and then being like, just call me Turkish, please.
I do.
Attila Turak. That's the coolest name of all time.
That tour was like miserably snowy and just like, it was a pretty rough one.
It was cold.
We had Rick with us, and we were very
shout out Rick, man.
We were very unsure as to how you guys were gonna like mesh.
Dude, it was right off the fucking bat. We just got into it.
And
I called him. I said, "You look like a white Mike Tyson," and then he hit me with some old shit, and I was like, "Fuck."
And then 2 weeks later, they get matching straight ahead tattoos.
That's
beautiful.
True.
It was awesome. It was really cool. But
Rick's.
one of the memories I have, Todd, I don't know if you remember this, is remember we went to outside of Munich is Dachau, which was a camp.
I remember going to Dachau,
and it was a fucking blizzard, and you were walking around in a hoodie.
Did I have shorts on or something?
No, but just zipped up in a hoodie, and there were people we were in parkas, like we were fucking.
Dude, I'm from California. At that time I probably didn't have like a big winter coat.
Oh man, good.
So you're suffering inside.
That was fine. That was cool. I wasn't asking to leave earlier.
Fueled with fury.
Cold-blooded.
And then one of the only other things I remember is very early on, what you said before, I didn't know a whole lot about gear at the time. And whatever we had rented was what we had rented. And it was like, Rise and Fall like knows their shit. You know, Cedric is very aware of his amps or whatever. So we're looking at the amps, and you and I are talking about what we're going to use. I'm like, I'm going to use this 800. And you look at it and you go, it's not going to be enough for you, dog. And it was like a lesson in like, just because it's a cool amp does not mean it's going to work. And I learned immediately. That's just something.
So what was enough? What did they have for you?
Like a
rectifier?
A 900. No, it was all Marshall, I think, but it was like a 900.
100 more.
DSL.
A little bit more
something.
gain.
Yeah.
Oh, the DSL. Yeah, good amp.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like the DSL.
It was a good amp.
Good amp.
But that stuck with me. That like, just because it's a cool, like a Model T is a sick amp doesn't mean it's going to work for what you're using.
For harm's way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and so it stuck with me. Loved that tour. Fond memories.
Great tour. I love it too, man.
So Unsilent Death would be officially re-released by Southern Lord, which you would join for one more record. One quote from Greg to you has stuck with me forever.
Noted and remembered.
Noted and remembered. Dude.
I was an asshole though.
No, in that regards, I don't know.
So this is what happened. So we're playing New York, I think on the Abandon All of Life record, and I'm at that time I was still a very impatient person, and the show had sold out, and between all of us, I mean, Saba was in the band, so he had a lot of heads coming to the show.
He lives there.
He lives there. We have like a 10-person fucking guest list, and what Greg did was fine.
Yeah.
All Greg did was say, "Hey Todd, could you get these 4 people in from my distributor into the show?" And instead of being nice and saying, "We just don't have guest list spots," I was like, in my mind, I was like, why are you asking me to get so many people on our guest list at a fucking New York City show where we have a ton of friends?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like, in reality, it's a music hub. And
it's a music hub, and it's a friend hub, and like it just short circuited my brain. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, not in a nice way, not in a professional way, but it was just like, why are you asking me this? And my response was a reflection of my character, not his request. So he deserves grace. He deserved to be dealt with patience. But in my asshole way, I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not putting these people I don't know on my And another thing is with Nails is like, and it's like I prioritize the band members before I prioritize anybody else.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, record label. If we only have 10 spots, we're using those for ourselves and our friends. Like, if we have open ones, then we will let you in. Otherwise, these people can just fucking pay to see the show. And that's another thing. Never mind.
Yeah, no, I see.
I could go on about this shit
To me, the list is for moshers.
Dude, if you want to go to a show, buy a fucking ticket.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I do thank him for changing my life that day with Noted and Remembered.
You
Dude,
say
Greg's
it.
so sick, man. I only have positive things to say about him.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And in that moment, I was the asshole.
So note and remember that, Greg. Everything's fine.
Greg Anderson, shout out Greg Anderson, Southern Lord.
One more Toddism before we move on is the infamous couple tracks.
Dude. Wow.
Another life-changing remark.
That didn't come from me.
Who did it come from?
Well, the band Fucked Up put out a record called Couple Tracks. Okay, and I think where that came from was there was a password-protected message board that talked about anything that had to do with old hardcore, anything and everything. And it was actually very pivotal to me learning a lot about old hardcore bands, like especially like old European and Finnish hardcore bands. I think it came from that. It's like when they were talking about records, like it was a thing said in admiration, like, oh, it has a couple tracks, not to like diss anything, or maybe it was to diss something. I don't know, but I think that term came from that message board, which is probably where Fucked Up got it from.
And in the Fucked Up song, do they say it? Are they just listing bands?
No.
Tracks?
I don't think there's a song called Couple Tracks.
Okay.
I think they have a compilation CD or album called Couple Tracks, but it's a compilation, so it's almost like, I don't know if they're making fun of themselves or if they're making light of the joke. I don't know what the intention is.
Your intention, though, in the way that I've carried it with me since, was R.I.P. Lou Reed. Couple tracks.
Lou Reed had a couple tracks. For sure. Couple tracks. A lot of tracks.
But I've realized something, Colin. There's something important that I didn't mention. On the tour with Nails, Harm's Way, and Rise and Fall, playing second guitar is one Andrew Saba.
And
that's
where I met. Yeah.
Saba.
And you said, you'll be coming with me.
And
now,
Saba had a demo, I believe. He had like some ideas, or he was working on stuff.
This is important.
Yeah.
And after that tour for a couple months, lived in my apartment, and I would come home from work to him just riffing in the living room to songs that would kind of work into Nail songs. Like, I feel like they started somewhere and then ended up in a different place. But I just remember when I would hear some Abandoned All Life tracks, it would sound vaguely familiar to what maybe he was working on. So
yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So number one, I didn't intentionally poach Saba from you guys.
No,
I don't remember how that worked out.
I can tell you exactly how, and it's one of the best stories that happens.
Should we go there first or go there next?
Yeah, this is real quick.
Okay.
2012, I'm taking care of the Harm's Way van. That was just kind of was my lot. I had it parked on Bosworth Avenue in Chicago, right off of North, right by the highway. I go out to leave for work one day, and I notice the van is completely missing. I try calling James. He texts me back and says, just tell me, man, because he knew what was going to happen. And I text him and said, the van got stolen. So in a group chat with the band, we tell everybody, like, hey, guys, the van got stolen. We were leaving for Australia in a couple weeks. Like, we were just kind of figuring out what we were going to do. And Saba said, wow, that sucks. Is the band going to break up? Like, he was very much like, so we're breaking up, right? Because Nails was like right around the corner.
And there we go.
And there we go. So you didn't poach him. He made up his mind. He made his decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
100%.
So during that tour, Saba was getting mixes of his demo, which was called Wind.
Oh, yeah.
And it was fucking good.
It was really good. That's right.
It was really fucking good. And
he's an incredible musician and songwriter.
Great guitar player, great songwriter, great musicians.
Check out the
Saba.
Virgos.
Check out the Virgos.
Oh, Virgos. They're good.
Dude,
Their new
they're
record's
rock.
great.
Love it.
So Saba joined Nails, and I was like, okay, like, I want you to make your mark on this band. I want you to write a song for Nails, and, you're going to get credit for it, blah, blah, blah. And I said that I can't remember how it went down, but that Wind demo, I was like, here, this take this riff, play it a little bit differently, and take that riff, play a little bit differently, and then, write a song around it. Mm-hmm. And he did, and that was that Some Suey K song.
Yeah.
The album closer, the epic album closer that we love so much.
Yeah, I saw Bo gave it some love on your guys' favorite final tracks.
That's right.
That's
Andrew
cool.
Saba.
I gave Carry On some too. What can I say?
Yeah, I saw that as well.
What can I say?
Thank you.
The chorus riff to Abandon All Life, that was a Saba one, right there.
Yeah.
Love that riff. It's a good riff. But before Abandon All Life, there was a scrapped entire God City session with a 7-minute version of Wide Open Wound.
Yeah.
Wow.
What, you weren't into that session?
It wasn't so much a session. It's just we weren't ready to really record anything.
Okay. I mean, it turned out all right in the end.
Does Taylor still have that in
I
archives?
think he might. He's the
I
one
don't know
that brought
if I
that
do.
up. Might have to get on the horn with him and fly some stuff in. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's not good.
Okay.
Really?
Like to nobody's fault. Like if it's anybody's fault, it's mine. Like we were being a little too ambitious, wanted to record some more with Kurt and book some time, and we just weren't ready. We didn't have the songs.
So you scrap it, you go home, regroup, Abandon All Life is made.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that time, because as we all know as musicians, the sophomore LP is maybe the most difficult.
Yeah.
Like making a great follow-up is really the make or break period for any band. You can write a debut LP easily because you can take as much time as you want and nobody really understands. Abandon All Life, in that 3-year gap, it's 2013, I think, right?
Mm.
I think now that the Nails sound has been established, you've got Saba in there contributing his mind to things. A masterpiece is born.
Rad.
We talk about this record all the time. We love it so much. Tell me about putting this together, any memories you have, and is this something you consider in the upper echelon of your work as a musician?
It's my least favorite Nails record. With that being said, like I love it.
Okay,
like when I
good.
say it's my least favorite, it doesn't mean I don't love it. Like
Right.
I love that record, but it's probably my least favorite record. I have lots of fond memories. I have a lot of fond memories with your brother in his studio, like writing songs, like writing God's Cold Hands and writing Wide Open Wound. Like, and Taylor will tell you this, like when we're working on a song and we go from one part to the other, when we make the transition from part 1 to part 2 and it feels really fucking good, I have to stop playing and I have to like fucking start yelling.
Because you did it.
It felt good.
We did it. Yeah.
Not so much we did it, but more like this is fucking awesome.
Okay.
Like this feels so good. I am so into this.
Wow.
And he'll tell you that, like I would just stop playing. I'd be like, yeah, because I'm so fucking psyched on it. And I definitely had those moments for the song "Wide Open Wound," the song "God's Cold Hands,"
John's Cold Van. I sometimes
John's Cold Van.
That was a cold van, man.
I love this record. This is a record that I equate to like Misery Index by Asik, where it's like, as soon as it finishes, I let it play again because it's just so easy to get through and like quick and impactful that I need it twice.
Saba and I had like friendly competition when we were making that record. Like we were really trying to make something just really aggressive and really like just really aggressive. I don't know how to say it any better than that. We were just like trying to up the ante a little bit. I think that record is probably not as catchy as Unsilent Death, but definitely more extreme, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Definitely, yeah.
I think there's some hooks on it though that
are.
that help to evolve the Nails sound. I do remember at the time Taylor telling me like Todd doesn't really like this record. It seems like throughout recording you were maybe not psyched on it.
I'm like that with every record I do.
Wow.
I bet he would say the same. I have vivid memories of recording "You Will Be Never One of Us" and just feeling like it wasn't good enough.
Wow.
That's just it's just self-doubt.
Sure.
You have it.
Yeah.
You have it,
We
don't
got
you?
it all over the place.
Self-doubt. It's
Yeah.
like a real thing for any like creative person.
Definitely.
So like you don't know until it's done. And really you don't know until people hear it. Like there's records I've done where it's like, I think people are going to like this. I don't know. And then they end up liking it.
Yeah.
And then there's records like, I think this is fucking amazing. And maybe people don't really like it as much. Like you just never know until I mean, you could know how you feel about something, but you don't really know how something's going to be received until it's out there.
But as the intention of writing it for yourself to like
Yeah, that's first always.
The older you get, the more you realize that's the most important thing. How was that the case with any of these records where you're like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks of this. I love this. I'm confident in it.
There's a little bit of like what we said earlier. Like I want to make sure like we appease a Nails fan. Like I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't give a fuck what our fans think." It's like, dog, like your fan and like make your band, make
absolutely.
or break your band.
Totally.
Like that's cool if you don't write songs based around what you think they want. I wouldn't say I write songs based around what I think they want, but we write songs based on, we have a fan base. Is our fan base going to fuck with this or not?
Right.
Like, and there's like an intent. It's like,
intention is everything with music.
It is.
I have found.
And speaking of, do you write Nails parts? At least for these 3 LPs, like the 3 that we're talking about, obviously we'll get past it, but are you writing parts for the intent of people to beat ass? Like, is that something you are even considering when you're writing the breakdown to Wide Open Wound?
well, let's talk about Wide Open Wound and then let's get back to your point.
Okay.
The but that was the first riff written for the record Abandon a Life.
Wow.
Like within a month after coming home from Unsilent Death, that riff was written. So like that was the first thing, and that's one of my favorite Nail songs.
Yeah.
So that's where your mind was right after a blistering fast record like Unsilent Death.
Not necessarily. So the breakdown of Wide Open Wound
Yeah.
was very hard to make because the song Wide Open Wound, the first half of it's already a mosh part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you outdo a mosh part that's already
How do you mosh
good?
the mosh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like so the last part of that song we had written like 3 or 4 different times, and it's good. I love it. I love the whole fucking song. Now, with that being said, when writing a record, when you're starting from scratch, writing a record is like putting together a 200-piece puzzle in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And the way that works for me is the first thing I do is I gather riffs. I don't sit down and say I'm going to write a song like this, or I'm going to write a song like that, or I'm going to write a song with this intention. I just play guitar, and if I play guitar for fucking 30 days straight, I might not come out with one riff. Like that's why it takes 3 years to write a Nails record.
Totally.
And like I don't know when it's going to happen, but like when I'm in my bedroom playing guitar and I hear something and I'm like, ooh, I like that. Okay, bank it. Maybe record it or just play it enough so you remember it.
One single part sometimes.
Yeah, just one single part.
Yeah.
And after you got about like 5 to 10 of those parts, it's like, well, do any of these work together? Mm-hmm. And at first you might not be like, none of this works together, but until you try it out, be like, oh, this riff and that riff sounds fucking killer.
But do you ever have too many that work together and then you've got to separate them somehow?
Give me an example.
Because that's my hardest thing is I'll have 4 riffs that'll be like, these are perfect together, but it's too much for one song.
Oh, yeah, that's where restraint is a very big quality about making music. Like restraint, like knowing when not to do something or knowing when to pull something back and not make it overloaded. Everything for me is based off of instinct and also energy. Like punk rock and hardcore to me, and even metal, like for me, like what I get out of it is the energy. Like is the energy being maintained? Listen, like I'm famously known for making albums that are under 20 minutes.
Gazina Gazada, you know?
Because I just want the energy. I don't like, not saying you can't make an album full of energy over 20 minutes, but like, this is going to sound fucked up, but I don't need a 20-song grindcore album.
Sure. No.
Not necessary.
That's fair.
No band has made a 20-song grindcore album that starts at song 1 and ends at song 20, and like you're still interested in by song 20.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and if you are, you're a fucking
The Wall
savage.
is like the longest great thing, you know? And it's long.
So to answer your question, Bo, I just bank riffs until I have enough riffs where you could make a song out of it, and that's kind of how it goes. And sometimes the riffs don't work, sometimes they do. Just go with your instinct, go with your gut.
And like as I've noticed from the one riff and They Come Crawling Back, Do you ever get hung up on a riff for years at a time?
Yeah.
Just having no, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely, yeah, the riff and They Come Crawling Back. That was a riff for years that I didn't know where to put in a song.
Every incarnation of that thing.
Yeah.
I liked them all. I liked the slow one. I liked the really slow one. And I liked how it ended up. Dude, you remember that version?
Dude, that fucking riff. I love that riff forever, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And it finally, like, I think we had that riff on when we were writing Abandon All Life.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
wow.
did?
Yeah.
I remember on multiple demos of multiple songs.
That's where restraint comes in. Sometimes it's like, this just isn't working. I got to put it down and go move on to something else.
Yeah, don't force it.
Sometimes if you don't do that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you have a favorite song on the record?
Which record?
Abandon All Life?
Absolute Control, the third song.
That's a great song.
Oh, wow.
Saber wrote some of that.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
Well, it's a third song. It's deep, but it's not like a prioritized song. It's not a
Right.
single. It's
Right.
not. I love that. Oh, Wide Open Wound. Wide Open
Yeah.
Wound is my favorite song off that record.
It's a great song.
Side B.
You opened with it this year.
Oh, at the FYA.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
I needed to make an impression.
You really did, man. That was fucking wild.
Cool.
I think Bo and I were standing next to each other, and you just went into it, and we were
We're
like,
like,
crazy.
what?
Yeah, that was awesome. Pardon this interruption once again. This episode is also brought to you by Manscaped, per usual.
Per usual, from day one.
You've got to quit stinking, and it's our responsibility to let you know you stink. Especially if you're in there slam dancing the way that Todd wants you to. It's going to be foul. It's going to be mad odorous, and we've got to get rid of it. And Manscaped is the ultimate tool to do that with things like the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver, the Crop Duster, the Foot Duster. I know your dogs are barking and stanking and wet and nasty. We've got to take care of that together. HardLore and Manscaped.
They have new stuff coming out all the time. They've got a bald shaver guy for my bald gentleman.
And I know you motherfuckers are bald. And who knows? I may be there soon. And when I do, I can't wait to use this thing.
There you go.
Code HardLore is going to get you 20% off and free shipping site-wide, baby.
The craziest deal ever. What's coming up?
I'll buy a car for 20% off and free shipping right now. Send me the link.
What's coming up? We got St. Patty's Day. We got
If you know an
Father's
Irish
Day.
guy who stinks,
Yeah.
I have the perfect gift.
I think St. Patty's Day happened just a couple days ago, so maybe not that. But
If he's stinking from St. Patty's Day because he went so hard,
There we
get
go.
him the HardLore Manscaped box set. Get him the collected works, 20% off, free shipping. Code HardLore. This episode is lastly brought to you by the great AG1.
did you take your AG1 today?
I drink my AG1 every single day. I love it so much. It's the first part of my morning routine on an empty stomach. A nice scoop of this tasty green powder, 16 ounces of cold water, and there I have it. That's it. I've had my greens for the day. I can go eat chicken and rice and nothing else, and I don't have to have the risk of getting scurvy someday like a nasty pirate.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've done my body good. I'm energized. I'm more energized than coffee a lot of time just from the AG1.
I look forward to drinking my AG1 every single day. It's something that is just a part of my routine. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just part of what I do every single morning. It's great.
That's right. Do you want to have all the great probiotics and prebiotics that you've been missing this whole time?
Why not?
It's March. We're well into 2025. It is not too late for you to start a new healthy routine. So go to drinkag1.com/hardlore. You're going to get 5 free travel packs. You're going to get a year's supply of vitamin D and K drops. What more do you need? You know? The bottle alone is worth the deal. I love that thing.
That thing is amazing. The lid.
So,
Just
dude, the lid it suctions right up. It's beautiful. So don't dawdle. drinkag1.com/hardlore. Back to the episode. So tell me about tours around Abandon All Life.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to know?
What were the big ones? What are the ones you remember? What are some fond and unfond memories?
Well, a couple of months before we recorded Abandon All Life, Converge took us out on a couple dates and on the West Coast, maybe like 4 or 5 shows. That was sick. And then we toured. We did a headlining tour with Zabalba and I think Early Graves. And then
I think that came to
Early
Chicago.
Graves.
it definitely came to Chicago.
guys
We
stayed
played. It was Rumble.
Yeah, at Cobra. Yeah.
Cobra.
Oh, that's the one where our tour ended and yours started?
Yeah.
I remember
that's
that.
right.
Oh, dude, that's... I have a cool story about that tour.
Let's go. I love that. No?
I don't, because people are going to think I'm talking shit. And it's about somebody who I really respect, so I just don't want to say it.
All right.
All right. We'll talk after. Anyway, yeah, great. Yeah, our tour was good. I drove home sicker than I've ever been that day, and then I kept up with Taylor on that one, and he had a great time. Europe on A Band All Life, did you do that? I feel like that was when you guys did the like festival circuit for the first time.
Yeah, summer of 2014.
I remember
We were
that?
there for 2 weeks. It was great. It was awesome. It was the first time I routed a European tour, and I'll never not route a European tour again.
You did it.
I routed it. I didn't necessarily book it.
So it can be done.
I told the agent, these are the cities, and these are in the order in which we're going to play them.
Holy shit. That's a dream.
I'm not letting a European fucking promoter fucking route a tour.
You're
Go
not
play
letting
here,
them-
12 hours,
Yeah.
16 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours.
You're not letting them throw darts at the map
Fuck
for you
no.
again?
Absolutely fucking not. And this is why you need someone to like show young bands like the ropes about Europe.
Yeah.
Like Europe's great. Europe's fucking awesome. The continent is incredible.
Absolutely.
The booking agents, they're not looking out for your best interest.
No.
I would say they might be looking out for your worst interest.
Okay, so we all agree
some
on that?
cases,
Yeah, they're
So I
thinking
don't
about
want
numbers.
anybody from Europe commenting on this, talking shit, because as an American going to Europe and allowing a European booking agent to have full control over your tour will
It will
break up your
you.
fucking band.
Yeah,
I've seen so many bands break up after going to Europe for the first time because they have some driver who's like, all right, next show, 12 hours away. We're doing it overnight. Well, can you take us to go get food? No, we need to go. Fuck you.
We can eat
I
at
have
the
not
gas
been
station.
back on a full tour in 7 years for that reason.
Dude, Nails might not ever go to Europe again. Like, I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's tough.
It's just, that was so fucking raw.
But the people,
I don't know if I'm tired of it. I'll go to Berlin.
Yeah.
I'll go to Hamburg. I'll go to Ghent. I'll go to UK all day. We'll go to UK once a year.
sure.
Beautiful.
But like mainland Europe, it's just like, dude, this is so fucking challenging sometimes.
tough.
Dude.
It's a
And
lot.
Yeah.
But the people are so passionate and incredible.
Awesome. Incredible people. It's just doing business there as an American band is challenging.
It's tough.
And that's
Different.
all I'll say.
We played together at Temple Fest in Manchester. And this was the really early on a tour with Converge for us. But we played the same day, so I got to watch you guys. You did one of my favorite things I've ever seen you do. You're going into songs, you're feeding back, and you go, this song is about people who fucking talk shit. And you go and you rip the song. Still feeding back. Next song. This song, it's about people who fucking talk shit. Rip the song. Third time, you go, this song, and you do this move, dude, where you went, this song, it's about people who fucking talk shit. And then you play the song. It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Is that your favorite live Toddism?
No, it's the two fists, baby.
That one's great.
Two fists, just yeah, the fuck yeah.
My favorite.
As someone watching this, like, thank you, gets
I'm
me
fired
pumped.
up.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I'm fired up.
Yeah.
Let me tell you my favorite Toddism. It's for the song Tyrant. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
This song's about fucking me. It's called Tyrant.
I get a little too enthusiastic
You should.
sometimes.
Oh,
How influential was the Philcore audio track to
Oh
you?
my God. We quoted that all the time.
Life-changing.
so funny,
It
dude.
was awesome.
That took over. That took over parts of us inside.
Didn't someone in hardcore like record that and put that out on the internet?
They certainly did.
Who was it?
I think it was friend of the show, old Benny B-roll.
Okay.
So don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that was his.
Like the original recording?
That it was his recording. I'm
Wow.
pretty sure.
I remember Every Time I Die played that over the PA and pantomimed Philcore. So like at
Like line by line?
At line by line, Keith like did it.
Oh, I can quote it front to back to this day, no problem. Dude.
So-
1, 2, 3, strong. One of the greatest things of all time. Yeah, and the song's about fucking me. It's called Tyrant. Yeah, it always stuck with me. That's a good one. You remember the GQ article with the nail shirt that was like, hey, do you want to look like a sexy young guy? Here's some cool band shirts you can buy to look cool. And it was the skull shirt.
I remember.
Pretty cool.
I'll tell you what I could get.
Exactly. I would carry that with me. Hey, GQ.
GQ.
They said they could be sexy, looking like me. So You'll Never Be One of Us is next around the corner. Another 3-year gap. Tell me about putting this record together. Abandon All Life was the only record Saba did, so it's back to the core trio here. Do you have any fond memories writing and recording this with Taylor and John?
Anything specific? I'm not really too sure. We had a lot of moments together in Taylor's garage or Taylor's recording studio, like being stoked on things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like any songs that come to mind that felt like big revelations in the moment. Like, okay, we've got a record now. Because Abandon All Life there was a whole canceled session around it. And then now you guys are focused like, okay, it's back to just us, so we got to make this one work.
I think the song "You Will Never Be One of Us" was like a very like wow, the song's great.
I remember the day that was written, and I remember what song am I thinking of? There's a part.
That's the last song. They come crawling back.
Yes, so that part too. When you demoed that, do you remember what you used as a reference for lyrical placement?
No.
Submit your soul to the God's rock and roll. Dun, 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 dun. That was the placement, and we were all like, "Oh,
awesome!"
So that one has stuck with me as well. I have such fond memories of like you guys being in there for 5-6 hours, and I would go in and hear the demos, and we would listen to them 3 or 4 times, and you'd be like, "That's what's up. Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna go." And then we'd spend the next few days listening to them more and absorbing them. And it was always so special to hear those finished products. Like I'm my brother's biggest fan.
Yeah.
I play drums because of him. I play music because of him. So Nails is such a huge part of just my DNA, my upbringing. And I know Taylor learned a lot from you in the way he operates bands and his personal life. We both did. This time was really special. This is the last full record that he played on. So it felt like you followed up the monster again with another monster, and it was just as well received, which is again very hard to do. Tell me about.
I think it was received better.
Better. See, did it sell better?
Well, I think it had more reach than the other ones.
Sure.
And I don't know why. I can't say why. I don't necessarily think. I can't say that that's like a better record than the other two, but I think maybe the fact that like we were on that 3-album run, maybe that helped things.
That's what it does. It's you make a great record, people are excited to hear the next great record. Mm-hmm. So the next great record does well because the last great record was so great.
Mm.
I remember Harm's Way played in Pomona, and you came. It was at Aladdin's, and you came, and you grabbed me.
Yeah,
and showed me songs in your car. And I remember as soon as it's the second song that has like the
French wall,
dude. And I was just like,
you told me, you said you guys did it again.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt, because it's like, how do you marry Floorpunch and Napalm Death? You know what I mean? Like seriously, how do you do that? And it was just like, oh, you did it. You found a way.
Love Floorpunch.
Floorpunch straight edge.
Dude, how about...
Let's talk about it.
Nails played This Is Hardcore after show at Kung Fu Necktie.
That's correct. Yeah.
And you refused to start until Porter made it.
Yeah.
And you played in a Floorpunch jersey.
That's what's up.
Iconic.
Did I play in a Floorpunch jersey?
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, Porter was coming to the show. I'm going to wait for him.
Tell me about Floorpunch in your youth, because that was a huge band for you.
That could be a second podcast, but let's do it.
Okay.
Well, the other thing about Floorpunch, Porter was always very kind and patient and cool to really anybody who would talk to him, or anybody who would, if you liked Floorpunch and you talked to him, like he was very patient. And one of my favorite Floorpunch memories is they played Oxnard. They needed a place to stay. So we took them to our friend's apartment, and, all the other guys, they were wiped. They were like fucking tired. Zusai was sitting there falling asleep on the couch. And we were just talking about hardcore, and Porter was like, if I could sound like any band, it would be Straight Ahead. And me and Zack were like, oh, we've never heard that before. And then Porter was like, oh my God, Zooside, they've never heard Straight Ahead. And it's like January 4th or 5th, very cold. Porter in shorts and a short sleeve t-shirt walks out to their van, gets like a burnt Straight Ahead CD, brings it back to the apartment. We listen to Straight Ahead for the first time.
Wow.
And is that not one of your fondest memories of your entire life?
Yeah, it's up there.
It's up there,
fuck
yeah.
It was just like Straight Ahead's like one of the best hardcore records ever, and in my opinion. And it was just like that moment kind of personified how cool Porter was to people and how cool he was to everybody. And like as like an 18-year-old or I was 17 years old, as a 17-year-old person who's still very, 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 very fresh to hardcore, and you have these like older guys, older meaning probably at that time mid-20s, late 20s, who were cool to you, and like they were in a band you loved. Like it really made an impression. So that's. I mean,
that was you and Scott to me. You know,
that's right.
So we've got to have those. We've got to take care of the youth. This genre's for them at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah.
We must support them. Anyway, Floorpunch, one of the greats.
Absolutely.
The distinctions between Floorpunch straight edge and other straight edge was something we talked about briefly at FYA.
Really?
Yeah, you were saying Mike wasn't Floorpunch straight edge.
Mike who?
Cesario. Alec is Floorpunch straight edge.
Okay.
Mike is not Floorpunch straight edge.
Did I say that about
You
Mike?
did?
I don't want to say things like that about people.
No, he knows. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's fine.
Alec is definitely Floorpunch
Alec
straight
is
edge.
certified.
100%.
Just about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just about.
So thoughts looking back at You Will Never Be One of Us as...
Dude, I was really drunk that night, huh?
At FYA?
The night we played or the night we didn't play?
The night you didn't play.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was terrible.
You were out in the town, dude. You were enjoying life.
I was.
You were living it, dude. That's what it's all about. That's what we're here for.
That's
we're living it.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Floorpunch straight edge.
I just want to go around saying that to people, I guess. I punished a lot of people that night.
Who cares, man? Then you played a great set.
Yeah.
And you opened a wide open wound. Floorpunch.
That's what's up.
That is what's up. Thank you. I got a live one. That's good. So thoughts looking back at this time of your life, You Will Never Be One of Us, as the final record with the kind of OG Nails trio.
Yeah.
Pretty good record still.
Which one?
You Will Never Be One of Us.
Yeah, it's a good record.
There you have it. Tours around that time? Do you remember any?
A lot of them. We toured a lot on that record.
Do you look back at that fondly, or are those?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was great. I mean, there. Oh my God, there was definitely times when I didn't enjoy myself, but like, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, we played a lot of great shows. We hung out, had a lot of great times, and it was dope.
Okay.
It's very easy to get hung up and like miserable on tour, and then you realize like, oh, I could be doing worse things. Like this is
a lot of it sucks until the show starts, and then you're like, damn, this is all I wanted.
Yeah.
I've ever wanted, I guess.
Being in Europe in the winter and not having access to a laundromat could really fuck up somebody's mind.
Yeah, dude.
I'll just leave it at that.
On that true. On our tour together, I played in Taylor's sweatpants because I couldn't dry my clothes in Europe.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to microwaving socks? Seeing Leo do it. It's dark days. Dude.
It's dark.
It's dark times. Microwaving the socks. Don't do it. Doesn't work. I Don't Want to Know You, Endless Resistance. This is the last 2 songs, 7-inch that Taylor would play on. Final recording with him. An incredible 2-song single featuring Max Cavalera on Endless Resistance. This is where your personal and professional relationship with him would start. How did that come to be?
Sometime on the Abandon All Life record, I woke up in the morning to go to work and I had a text from somebody, and they were texting me an article online about Max giving Nails props. And so I just reached out to his team and sent him a bunch of shirts. And Taylor and I went out to the House of Blues on Sunset and watched the Cavalera Conspiracy and went and hung out on his bus and just talked to Max and Igor and met those dudes and just hung out with them and stuff. So we had kind of been acquainted with them and stuff. And then Max asked me to go up on a Soulfly song to do a guest vocal on their record Archangel, which I did. It was dope.
Awesome.
And then went to another Soulfly show, and I asked Gloria, his wife and manager, it's like, hey, can we get Max on a song? She's like, yeah. So we did.
And Max and Igor, it needs to be said just like how cool they are.
Cool,
and like they don't need to be that cool, They paved the way, changed the game.
They just still really like hardcore and metal and punk and shit.
They love music.
Yeah, they really
that's
do.
That's the thing that sets everybody that stands the test of time apart. Is just being the passion first and foremost.
I just saw them a week ago at the House of Blues here in Chicago. I had toured with Max, so I've known him, but I met Igor for the first time. Couldn't believe how cool they were. Couldn't believe how like welcoming it was. Got to play some songs with them. It was fucking awesome. And it's like you said, like their impact, I'm realizing, is more than even just riffs.
Big time.
It's kind of the mentality that goes with.
What do you mean their impact?
Their impact, for me personally, is not so much like, oh, this riff is great. It's like, no, they were wearing Sick of It All shirts, and they were always down and looking hungry for new music and trying to put new bands over and like doing things that I equate with music I want to be involved with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
I just think, I really do think the world of them. It's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
At that session in Arizona, Max would impart some knowledge onto you about some songs on Roots.
That was when Taylor and I went to go visit them at the House of Blues.
Oh, okay. The famous quote, "Everything comes from somewhere." So I want to ask you, is there an unconventional thing you've taken and turned into a Nails riff?
So many things.
Oh.
Could you tell me a weird one?
I don't know.
Like, are you turning Stevie Wonder dance sections into skank parts,
No. I always think like this could be interesting if you did this with it.
Yeah.
Like
You're right.
whenever I'm listening to music.
Right.
And is it often non-aggressive things that you're taking it from?
I don't know. There has to be something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, now that you ask the question, my mind goes like,
If it comes to mind, let me know. We'll put it in.
oh man.
Here it is. That 7 inch is incredible. That would be Taylor's last contribution to Nails. And was that initially supposed to be part of an album?
So 2019, so You Will Never Be One of Us came out in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So then naturally we should have put out an album in 2019.
Right.
But we just didn't have the songs to do it, and we wanted to give our fans some music. So it's like, this is what we got.
Sure.
So we'll give it to you.
Sure.
Even though I wish those songs were on a proper full-length record, because I think those songs are, I mean, the strength of those two songs on one singular record, that might be the best Nails record.
Wow.
I love that record.
I do too.
awesome.
I think those two songs personify Nails. Like, I think it's a perfect representation. Like, if somebody was gonna be like, hey, what is Nails songs like? Just, it sounds like, here, just listen to these two songs. Listen to this one record.
Blistering fast into punishing mid-tempo.
Yeah.
Done.
That's it. That's
There's
what
Nails.
Nails sounds like.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's
good call.
good. Mm-hmm.
2019 would mark kind of a change. Well, 2020 really would mark a change in all of music for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was I know Nails, it's an unofficial hiatus. Every band went on unofficial hiatus because of COVID. But how did you use that time? Yeah, I know you did the Unsilent Death podcast for a bit.
Oh, I did a podcast.
Yeah, how was that?
Overwhelming. I didn't have enough time.
Wow.
During COVID, everybody was being very creative.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of time on their hands. I myself, I never got laid off my job. I always had steady work. I have a household. Like, I was just inspired by what I was seeing around the people around me being creative. I was like, I think I'd have fun doing a podcast. And I did it, and I did have fun, but I realized I do not have the time for this.
It's a lot of work, right?
Well,
You don't ask him. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
fucking Bo.
He's the best.
He does a lot of work.
He does a lot of work. He's great.
But it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Are you all right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm.
Did that strike a nerve?
No, Todd,
right.
you could never.
You could
Todd,
never. I
don't worry
could.
about it.
Okay. Okay.
You started, and then, so this time off how do you get back to working with Terror?
Oh, so the summer, like probably June or July or August of 2020, Scott hits me up. He asked me if I was interested in working on a Terror record, and I was still kind of playing guitar and not like really getting too inspired about anything nails wise. And I was like, you know what? That'd be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun to work with Terror on some Terror music. And so,
So there's no real hesitance there. It's just like, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome.
that's what I'm
Sounds
going to do, because that's a good use of my time right
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
So,
And had you been connected with them otherwise between when were the Underdogs and that time much?
yeah, through friendship.
Okay.
Like, I'd always go to Terror shows. Scott would always throw the mic at me to sing a song.
Nice.
And like, I was always like, when I quit Terror, maybe there was like a period where like we didn't really talk, but that period was very short. Like maybe 6 months. Like, I remember Scott giving me like a burned copy of Always the Hard Way, like, a couple months before it came out. So like, we were always cool.
Which is the record right after When Were the Underdogs.
That's correct.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Right.
The record I left. So we were cool, man. We were always been cool. And so like, I would go to Terror shows, and sometimes I would go on stage and play guitar, and Martine would grab the mic and sing a song and shit. So we were always cool. But yeah, like Scott and I would text every now and then and shit and keep in touch.
And then Pain into Power takes place. And
I love that record.
dude,
Yeah, as you should.
I really think it's like it's an incredible I think it cements Terror as the greatest hardcore band ever. Like the fact that the longevity, there's not a single bad record, but making that this late into your career is damn near impossible.
What's your favorite song?
Boundless Contempt, brother.
Yeah, it's a hard
you know
song.
it is. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Is that a Todd riff?
It was a group effort.
Nice. I love a group effort. Beautiful. Incredible record. Great job. Can we expect more music producing on your end, or more work with Terror?
That's not for me to say,
Okay.
but I'm sure you know.
I do know.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
That's not for me to announce.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We love Terror here on the program. We love Todd's
I love Terror.
Todd loves Terror.
100%. They are one of the greatest hardcore bands that ever
Absolutely.
exist.
You can't deny it at this
And
point.
I'm not talking about my contributions. I'm just saying them.
Like as
Their
an
live
entity.
show. Like, I don't have anything. Pretend I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
They are one of the best hardcore bands to ever exist.
Agreed.
In my span of hardcore.
So now here we are. Every bridge burning. It's time now. The Pain and Power's done. You're ready to get Nails back on the road, back playing shows. You want to come back strong with an LP, which I think is incredible. That's the way to do it. And if I could do it, I would. It's just hard to do. So Pain and Power, you've done that. It's time. It's Nails time again. What gives you this? Like, what's the moment where you're like, it's fucking time, man. Nails has got to come back.
It was always time. It was just, I was just like, nothing was coming out of my hands that I liked.
Wow.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, just nothing was fucking coming out. Like, and like, like, I love what Nails does, but Nails has done 3 albums of it. At that point, up until that point, Nails has done 3 albums of it. Like, what more do I have to say?
Interesting.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
do, but it goes back to what you were saying about like you knowing what people want from you and giving them that.
yeah, but also like, if I'm not inspired to do something, it's going to come out bad.
100%.
And so like the new Nails record is what I was inspired to do, and I love it. I think like that was like when we first recorded, I was like, okay, this is the best Nails record. This is my favorite one.
And have you ever felt that way before when recording a Nails record?
Unsilent Death.
Okay. So it's the first time you felt that feeling since Unsilent Death,
Probably.
15 years ago.
Probably.
That's very special.
So what was the writing? Was that writing process all you, or were you writing?
No.
With the
guys. No. So Shelby was the first member I picked up, and I met Shelby when Ulthar toured with Nails in the summer of 2019, and we stayed in touch. And I was explaining him my situation about how I had to rebuild Nails one day, and he mentioned, "Oh, I'd play music with you," and I was like, "Really?" Like, he's like a progressive death metal dude. Like, I figured like maybe Nails stuff would be not his lane. But I was surprised. I was like, great, you're a great guitar player. I really like all the things you write. Let's play together then. Mm-hmm. And then I found Carlos and reached out to Carlos, and Carlos was down to play. And we started rehearsing in September of 2022.
Oh, wow.
But I had some stuff. Like, I had the song I had some stuff, but not a lot. And what we did was we just rehearsed once every 2 weeks until the record was written. And
So for 2 years, basically?
Well, we recorded the record in October of 2023, so about 13 months. And then when I was at God City, I tried to do my vocals, and it just wasn't happening. My voice wasn't rehearsed. And so rehearsed my vocal for like 2 or 3 months. And then January of 2024, recorded all the vocals, and then had the record mixed. And then Nuclear blasted their thing and got it out in August of 2024.
Crazy. Was there any Nails material demoed or written between that time that didn't make the cut?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Carlos and I demoed a bunch of shit. Anytime Nails makes a record, even in the past, there's generally half a record written that didn't make it.
Wow.
Like 5 songs.
I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot of them.
Yeah, so it's like, and they're not bad, but they're not great, or maybe they are good, but they just don't have a place on a Nails record.
Sure.
Like, that's restraint. That's where restraint comes in, when you realize, I don't know that the song fits in with these other 10 songs. It's good. I like it, but maybe we should leave it off.
Triptychon Shatter. They left it off.
Yeah.
And that's really good. And then Andrew comes into the fold.
He does.
And he's incredible.
Absolutely.
I feel like he's like a John and Taylor presence combined, almost.
Andrew's Andrew.
Andrew is Andrew for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, the goodness of having both of these incredible people with you, it's you don't have to be like, I miss what I had, because you've got Andrew.
I definitely miss John and Taylor.
Of course.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad to hear that. But Andrew, as a guy, so easy to get along with, incredible bass player, just a shining presence.
Sadly, we picked up Andrew after we recorded the record. I really wish we picked him up before, because working with him now, he has like a lot of really, really good input. And he's like really, really, he's just a great musician. But he's going to be heavily involved in writing the next Nails record. We already have like 2 songs for it. So.
Hell yeah. Sick.
Breaking news.
HardLore
Breaking
exclusive.
And there's 2 songs. And he's the best, so I can't wait to hear it. Apparition. My God, what a band.
What a band.
What a band.
Shout out Miles.
The biggest. Shout out to Miles. One of my favorites. So here we are. Every Bridge Burning is out. You did your first tour back just a few months ago. Got to play some shows on that. That was really special. It's nice to be part of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys were on it.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Of course. No, thanks for having us. The Belasco gig, as just a hometown Nails gig, with one Best Live Performance at the HardLore Awards for last year. Truly a sight to behold. You had Max there. You have the biggest like regular show hometown crowd you've ever had, right?
Yeah.
And you made it
times like 2 or 3, maybe.
Fuck yeah.
Times 2 or 3. That's where we are. That's where Nails is. You made a once in a lifetime spectacle with having Nails there. Tell me about how that tour went overall, how the response was for the record, and how you're feeling.
The tour, like on the East Coast, like all the dates, was the biggest Nails tour to date.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was really like super appreciative and super stoked that so many people came out. It was a great tour. It was a successful tour. And then what was the second thing you said? The response to the record?
Yeah, response to the record.
It's been really good.
And now
I think the new record's a little polarizing for Nails fans.
You've seen polarizing remarks on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the thing. The thing is with this new record, the thing that got me excited about playing guitar again was being a little bit more expressive with my left hand. And I feel like the first 3 records are like very compressed, like it's like just a compressed fist.
Sure. Yeah.
This one's like it's a little more open hand slap.
Yeah, I mean songs like "Give Me the Painkiller."
Yeah.
You're really
No More Rivers to Cross.
Yes, you're riding the neck. You know,
there's just
out of the box.
There's some new elements, and like I could understand like if you liked Nails for like the very extreme stuff, then I think that stuff's on the new record, but maybe it's not going to scratch your itch, and that's okay. But I do think it's in line with the quality of the other Nails records. But yeah, the record's doing great. It's opened some doors for us, and it's dope. I like it a lot.
You got that Obituary Terror tour coming up. It's one of the coolest lineups I've ever seen.
I'm so excited.
That's right.
The ad mat or the design, the tour poster for that looks so cool.
Yeah.
And it lives forever.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Bo, do you have anything before we do our Patreon questions?
I am ready for the questions.
Let's do it. We got some good stuff in here. We had members of the HardLore Patreon.
Can I drop an exclusive?
Absolutely, you can, by all means.
Me and Ryan from Carry On are doing a new band, and it sounds just like Carry On.
Wow. So
Wow.
How far along are we?
I got 5 songs demoed on my phone. Ryan's writing a Youth Code record, and then
it's time.
Is there a name yet?
nah, no name yet.
Will you play Carry On songs?
That's the plan.
Okay. That's all I needed. That's
a
amazing.
great year.
That's
a
great.
beautiful year.
That's great to hear. I love the idea that you are 4 LPs deep into Nails and you want to pick up where Carry On left off for that project.
I don't want to pick up where Carry On left off. I want to play music with Ryan that sounds exactly like Carry On.
Love it.
It's fucking awesome.
Well said.
Sorry, maybe our
totally
points are the same. Sorry, dude.
No, that's the intention is the intention.
So these are questions folks ask?
Yeah, I'll get to those in a minute, but the first one brings back something I wanted to talk about was Breaking Edge.
Yeah, I stopped being straight edge.
Do you think that was a positive? Let me tell you from my perspective, I think that was a positive thing in your life.
Why?
I think you're just a more chill guy now. You don't think so?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's like related to not being straight edge.
I think the impact of weed on you at first was like, man, Todd's really chill today. This is awesome.
How was I before? Not chill?
You're just a little high strung, maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Break a guitar every now and then, it happens.
Yeah, I've done that.
Do you have a favorite guitar you've broken? Like one you were like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I do, but we're not going to talk about
right,
that.
say no more.
Speaking of guitars, though, Todd, I know I've told you this before, but I want to talk about it on the show. My very first youth crew band with Chris in it played with Champion in Chicago, and Arun, I broke a string, and Arun handed me his guitar, played the
Arun
set.
Khan?
Yeah, played the set.
Shout out to Haroon Khan.
And I was like, dude, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. He said, no problem, dude. It's my friends. Check out the plate. And where it would say standard or custom, said TODD JONES.
Yeah, baby.
Come on.
That's what's up.
And little me
I
was like,
I have that guitar still.
beautiful.
Carry On recorded on that guitar.
Yeah, you brought
The
it
album.
to Europe. I remember when we were there. It was the same one, right? Tobacco? Oh, okay.
Nah, it was a Black Studio.
It was a Black Studio. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
All right. Are there any modern bands you think are genuinely doing something innovative that might be looked at as a game changer in the near future?
Why don't you go? Well, you're not going to just go down the whole
No,
list?
we're going to skip some.
Why are they whack?
I just want the bangers. This guy said, how did it feel Breaking Edge?
So who's that? Brandon Espinoza.
Brandon?
So Brandon, I was 30 years old. I went to the dentist and I had to get 2 root canals and they gave me Vicodin. And I took a Vicodin and I felt like what I perceived a happy person to feel like.
Wow.
So like once on a Saturday, once every month, I had like a bottle of like 20 of these things. And on a Saturday, like once every other month, I would take one and I would relax. And then I realized this is definitely not straight edge behavior.
Like you're like, I think I'm going to do some recreational drugs every other Saturday. This is nice.
I didn't think about it like that. It was like, and it's probably because I wasn't thinking, honestly, but it's just, that's what happened. And that's felt pretty good.
I know. So when I had appendicitis, famous, it's well documented, and I was prescribed Norco for sleeping.
Yeah, that rocks.
For pain. Best sleep I've ever had.
Exactly.
And it was so good that I was like, I can never do that again.
Can't touch
because it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
So I
Good
get
for
it.
you. You had the wherewithal to say no. I didn't.
I know that heroin is the dopest thing ever, So I can't do it because I know it's
There's a reason why people get hooked on it.
Exactly. It's got to be awesome.
Do you mind? Let's give these people what they want.
Let's do it. Squeebles said, bring back Knife Fight.
Not my choice. John's not interested in singing anymore.
There you go.
Me and Nick Townsend tried.
Damn.
Nick Townsend, mastering engineer legend.
Shout out to Nick, man.
Dan,
That's my fucking dog for shit show.
Dan McKinley, might be a bit late, but would love to know what you're most looking forward to about the upcoming Obituary tour.
Hanging out with Terror.
Nice.
And
Beautiful.
Nails.
Great answer.
Beautiful.
Zach Honeycutt asked the question I asked earlier. Are there any modern bands that you think are genuinely do something innovative that might be looked at as a game changer in the near future?
Lock, Slip,
Great band.
and Mongrel.
Yeah.
Great. And you come on. You're 2 for 2.
Mongrel, I mean, they're just like Suffocation and Cannibal Corpse, but they're gonna do something real big. That EP fucking smokes.
It's so
It
good.
rocks.
It's grade A material.
Yeah.
Like bands will come up and they won't become like a thing until certain people co-sign in it.
Totally.
Or like some sort of event happens. Mongrel's gonna have that event soon. And that's gonna be a band that's
Wow.
I agree. I agree so much that I heard it for the first time and texted them and said, hey, whatever I got to do.
I can't stop listening to that fucking EP.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
Baptized in the Gutter, out now on Days and HardLore. Check it out. Alec Osborne asked, as Nails has gotten more popular, do you find that the crowd participation has changed due to, say, reaching a wider audience, or is it mainly just dependent on the type of venue the show is being played?
Depending on type of shows being played, like Nails is a band that like we need that mosh energy, that slam dance energy, and if we play a show with a barrier, sometimes that energy can get kind of flattened. Yeah. Like at the Chicago show we played.
Yep.
Great show, great audience participation, but but not as wild as some of the other Chicago shows we played.
Sure.
With that being said, Nails will always have that hardcore energy,
Love it.
hardcore punk rock energy.
Love it. When it comes to Nails shows, did you ever consider just doing vocals and bringing in another guitarist?
No, because I look at myself as a guitarist first and a vocalist second.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite riff on Pain into Power?
Riff. I don't look at riffs like some people do. Like Smoke on the Water is a riff.
Yeah.
Iron Man is a riff.
Yeah.
Minor Threat Straight Edge. Dun-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. That's not a riff.
Uh-huh.
Like a riff to me is something that like you could almost, it's almost like a vocal melody.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Like,
sure.
In a way. And I don't think a lot of hardcore people will say, oh man, this hardcore band has a ton of riffs. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to tell you they don't, or I'm not going to tell you whatever. I just don't really think that way. I think hardcore guitar playing is more about being percussive.
Uh-huh.
Percussive is good.
And it doesn't necessarily mean it's not a riff. I think that word is a little played out and doesn't pertain to hardcore. Now you asked me about what's my favorite riff on that record.
Yeah.
My favorite part on that record is my favorite song on that record is Can't Help But Hate. I like that's my favorite song. Boundless Contempt, Unashamed, the song Pain into Power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are my favorite songs on that record, and I just like the energy of the song Pain into Power best. It's like quick in, quick out, like straight up like hardcore song in every sense of the word, my opinion.
Agreed. Great answer. Do you have a guilty pleasure band or record?
A lot.
Cool. Cool. If you could work with one producer, who would it be and why? Were you with Taylor and John when they ran into Bob Rock?
Yeah, in Vancouver
Was that
Airport.
sick?
Oh, shit.
It was so sick. We punished the shit out of him.
Did you really?
You know what's crazy? The craziest thing about that is he fucking flew economy.
Wow.
That dude gets points from the Black Album.
Maybe the wells run dry. The therapist ran out. He ain't getting paid anymore. But Bob's for sure. He's doing fine.
Bob is just a bit of a penny pincher, to be honest.
Maybe. Economy.
Who's the person who asked about guilty pleasure?
Zach Honeycutt.
Zach, I don't refer to music as guilty pleasures, but I probably listen to a lot of things people wouldn't expect me to listen to. I'll tell you one. On the way up here to come to Collins, I listened to the album Sea Change by Beck.
Great record.
Yeah.
That's a staple in the Harm's Way van.
Awesome.
Listen to it all the time.
Love that record.
Excellent answer. Let's see. What Nails Fusion was?
Damn,
Nails Fusion.
Is Zach just fucking like?
That's what I'm saying. I guess sometimes you got to filter.
All right. Just tell me what's that. No, let him do it though. What's he saying?
Was Nails Fusion of genres done as intentional statement, or
yes.
just okay? There you go.
So punk and metal.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mr. Cheddar asks.
Who?
Mr. Cheddar.
Come on, man.
What's your favorite way to fight boredom, pass time while touring, and who is the worst driver while touring? I do know there was one incident where Taylor missed one turn, and you said, "Can somebody else fucking drive?"
Dude. All right, this is not negative towards Taylor.
Okay.
He would drive and straight up watch movies on his fucking phone.
He's an animal.
And you know the guard and like after the lane where it's like cut in the road. So like if your tires go, it's like
Yeah.
It would be after a show and we would hear that all the fucking time. So scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna say he's a worse driver, but I mean that's what would happen.
He's never gotten in an accident.
What did he have any? What was it? How do I fight
How do you
boredom
fight boredom on tour?
Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
What are you playing on Switch?
The Nintendo, the NES subscription. So I just play like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. That's shit I grew up with.
You got Fortnite?
No, I want to like Fortnite.
I'll get you on it.
Okay.
I got you.
My daughter plays it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Your daughter,
the concept of the game is amazing. Like you fly in and fucking kill people.
I'm telling you, it's the greatest game of all time.
Okay.
I will get you there. What is your most meaningful tattoo?
Man, I got so many tattoos that I stopped putting meaning to them. I just fucking get a tattoo.
Just give me a cool
So my favorite tattoo is some shit I have up on my shit over here.
Right. Understood.
I was going to say, I think tattoos become fun when you stop giving a shit.
Give me a dragon.
Exactly. Yeah. Just give me something that looks good.
Yeah.
Give me a cool guy.
That's all I need.
Give me a skull. Any skull is the coolest thing. How has the creative process for you changed from the old lineup of Nails to the current?
It hasn't.
There you go. Are there any albums, this is a good question, outside of your own project you wish you had been a part of?
Ooh.
Yeah, a lot. Like what? Do you wish you wrote this song?
Like I wish I wrote Master Killer, obviously. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's such a hard question to ask. So say the question one more time.
Are there any albums outside of your own projects you wish you'd been a part of?
I mean, there's things that I wish I could do that other people have mastered, and I wish I could do them. I wish I could be in a band like Neurosis. I wish I could write 10-minute long atmospheric songs. It's just not it's not how my brain works.
Great answer. Not a question, but R.I.P. Cola Boy, Oxnard legend.
Yeah. Oh, shout out Cola Boy, Rip Cola Boy.
I was just thinking about him the other day. Put "Don't Forget Your Neighborhood" on. What a unbelievable song. Hits even harder now. This is a great question. If you could form a supergroup using all of your former bandmates, who would you pick and what genre?
All right, for sure, Martine on guitar.
Love it.
I was never in a band with Martine, but we did the Terror record together, and he's one of the tightest guitar players I've ever played with.
And he knows the riffs before you teach him to him.
That is correct. Yes. So Martine and me on guitar. I mean, we have to know the style, though, because
it's up to you. It says what genre you playing.
You get to decide.
I think the genre would be determined by who's in the band.
Who's singing? That's huge.
Of somebody I've been in a band with?
Yeah.
Either Ryan George or George Hirsch.
Two great options.
Yeah.
And that's two completely different directions, really.
Yeah.
I'm liking this band.
you got a demo or?
Okay. I mean, that's a good three-piece. Who's on drums? Who's on
that's
who's on bass?
Drums more than anything. It has to determine the style.
Sure.
Like, what are we doing? Are we doing some heavy shit or are we doing some punk rock shit?
Let's do some fast stuff. Some fast.
Oh, dude, we didn't talk about Fireburn and TODD Youth.
Yeah, we have to.
What was that like, dude? R.I.P.
Yeah, it was one of the best. It was the best musical experience I've ever had in my life.
Wow. Playing
with Nick Townsend and TODD Youth. Todd is, I got to shout out Martine, but as far as like, Todd is the best guitar player to ever play hardcore guitar.
Wow.
I love that answer.
Like his feel and also his stage presence. Like that dude is hardcore guitar playing right there. And more. He could do so much more.
Danzig. He's a legend.
He like just being in a band with him, I learned so much. It was fucking awesome.
Wow.
And I miss him all the time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. R.I.P. TODD Youth.
Yeah.
Fireburn. Todd played on this incredible record. What's it called?
Don't Stop the Youth.
Don't Stop the Youth. It's insane. I don't know that the spirit of Bad Brains has ever been captured so well by another band.
Mm-hmm.
Even had a Bad Brain singer on it.
I know.
Yeah.
He did it all.
It's crazy.
Spirit.
Shout out Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Last local show you went to that you weren't playing. I see you all the time.
I go to shows all the time.
You really do.
The last one, I went to Rose Tattoo. That's not a local show.
First American tour in like 50 years or some shit, right?
I guess God's Hate at the Belasco.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I went to God's Hate and Rotting Out. And
how involved were you lyrically on A Life Less Plagued?
Ryan George and I wrote the lyrics to Off My Chest, which was recorded on the 7-inch before we did A Life Less Plagued. In a car the night before we recorded it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I can't take 100% credit for that because we did it together, but that's really it. Other than that, Ryan, that was all Ryan. Those are all Ryan's lyrics.
Did you ever at any point have a critique about how often he said fuck on that record?
Not until after the record came out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a critique, it was more of like praise.
Okay.
It's like, damn, you really made fucking hit 8 times in a row in this one part. That's crazy. That's awesome. Do you write now? Now when you write music, do you write in a DAW like Logic or GarageBand or straight up while jamming with human beings?
What I'll do, not with human beings. What I'll do is I'll be in my bedroom, be playing guitar, and if I have a cool riff, maybe I'll record it into the computer. Maybe I'll just wait until rehearsal.
Okay.
It's
put it in there. Wow.
I forgot to mention one of my favorite things that you do that I wonder if you still do. When writing riffs, you would go,
well,
to see if you could sing over it, right?
No, not to see if you can sing over it, because you might have a cool vocal pattern in your head already. And that was probably just the vocal pattern I had for that.
Love it. How do you feel about Betrayed nowadays?
Good.
Cool. Me too. I think it's the most melodic hardcore band that I genuinely love.
Oh, interesting.
I love the Betrayed discog, and I don't like a lot of music like that. And the Suffering title track riff, unreal. Check it out. Shrug. Favorite spots in Cali when you just need to chill and take in some lovely scenery?
Laurel Canyon.
Great answer.
Beautiful. Yeah.
818.
No, dog.
Oh, come on. Go with the Valley
That's
version.
Studio City. I'm going to Hollywood.
That's 818. Get it. Come on. That's what is it called?
No, I'll go to Studio
Crescent
City.
Heights. That's Crescent Heights.
That's Crescent Heights.
Obviously.
What's your Mount Rushmore of Metallica riffs? Do they got riffs or they got parts?
They got riffs up the ass.
All right.
Metallica riffs. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is the breakdown for Damage Inc. Blackened. Basically the whole fucking song. Whole song. I don't know every single from Kill 'Em All to even Black Album. Every single riff.
Love it. It's a big Mount Rushmore. They're gonna have to make some more heads.
Are you skipping around? I want to go down the whole thing.
No, we're doing them all.
All right, okay.
We're doing them all.
Okay.
I'm just paraphrasing some things to get to the point.
Very good.
What's different about playing in front of metal audiences versus hardcore audiences from an artist's perspective? Which genre do you feel has worse punishers? Interesting.
Nails doesn't play a show to just one or the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes more of one is at the other, but that would depend on if we're supporting somebody.
Yeah.
Like
the Nails crowd.
So like the Obituary tour. How's that?
Yeah.
Obituary, Terror, Nails. That's going to be.
There's going to be a gang of hardcore fuckers there.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't even know what the majority crowd's going to be like that.
No.
But there's on the strength of Nails, Terror, and Spirit World and Pest Control, there's going to be a bunch of fucking hardcore people there.
Big time. Can you tell us what you love about life? I want to know what Todd is tender about.
What I love about life?
Mm-hmm.
Playing guitar.
Beautiful.
Eating a really good meal.
Oh,
now you're talking.
Yeah, speaking our language.
So nowadays, when you're touring, what's Nails eating like?
Well, in Chicago, specifically, there's a chef called Stephanie Izzard. She has a restaurant called Girl and the Goat and Cabra in LA.
Dude,
and
Girl and the
eat
Goat.
At those places. Awesome.
Girl and the
so
Goat
I went to Girl and the Goat in Chicago. It was like bougie food.
Is that the best meal of tour?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I like Panera bread.
Really?
That's your choice?
On tour, I try to eat light.
Yeah.
Panera? Dude, Panera's secret boulders in you, though.
Secret boulder. It's a lot of carbs.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So you got to watch it. You can't eat like a fucking bread bowl and a sandwich. You got to eat a sandwich and just an apple or something.
Have you tried the lemonade that kills you from there?
Nah, fuck no.
It's
it
good.
Kills people.
It's good.
So is heroin.
That's true. But you got,
Todd, you were an early supporter of newly opened in California Portillo's Hot Dogs in Oxnard.
In and Buena Park.
Buena Park, excuse me. I remember you telling me like years ago, like, oh yeah, I go there all the time. And I was like, what? Because it wasn't, it was only.
So there's one
here.
in Buena Park and then there's one in Moreno Valley.
Beautiful.
I think there's only two. And it's delicious. It's just like shitty American food. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and then the cake shake.
It's the best.
You got the cake shake.
Most satisfying Nails record to you now?
Unsilent Death.
Wow. Great answer.
Remind me which song it is, but the riff on Unsilent Death where it's and you have to hit that
depth.
squeal. Yeah.
What'd you say?
And you have to hit that squeal. Do you ever just totally flub it?
I mean, I'm not perfect at my squeals,
dude.
That's for sure.
That's
for
a
sure.
brutal one, huh?
But the cool thing is it on that note, if you don't hit the squeal and you just hit the note, it still sounds pretty good.
It still sounds cool. It's high up there, right?
No. It's the third fret on the G string.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What is your favorite riff that isn't hardcore punk metal?
It's such a hard fucking question. I'll just say this. I've been listening to the first Crosby, Stills, and Nash record like nonstop for like the past 4 years.
That's my fucking... Oh, wait, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young or just Crosby, Stills, Nash?
Both, but the first one, the one
first
without Young.
Dude, that is I've been obsessed with that record.
Yeah, all those songs are in different tunings.
They're all incredible. And have you ever watched the Woodstock documentary? Like the long ass... It's like 3 hours about Woodstock. No. It has their full. They play Judy Blue Eyes. They play the whole thing, and they say this is our second gig, man. And they're playing to like 100,000 people.
Yeah,
it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
I'll change my vote to "House of Pain" by Van Halen. For the guitar riff, the last. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah,
that fucking holy shit.
I love that riff. That sounds like a Bad Brain song.
Yeah, I agree.
That's awesome.
I agree.
Mount Rushmore of breakdowns. It's a tough one. There's a lot of them.
It's that breakdown song. Sorry, been kicked around for too long. Being fucked over just made me strong.
That's Mount Rushmore.
Kickback.
Kickback. That is like proto modern breakdown.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Great answer. TODD Jones' favorite Slayer track.
Ooh.
South of Heaven.
Yeah.
Best. Talk about a band that has amazing opening songs. That's my favorite opening Slayer song just because of the atmosphere.
Great pick. Mount Rushmore couple tracks artists. Lou Reed.
That's fun. That's fun.
I don't even know. Like literally artists that only have a couple tracks.
Yeah, the top 4 who only got a couple.
Lou Reed solo only has a couple tracks, in my opinion.
Perfect.
David Lee Roth solo only has a couple tracks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right. When I was a freshman in college, I ate a lot of instant ramen while listening to Unsilent Death. Thank you.
Shout out. I hope you benefited from that somehow.
Favorite Indian dish? This is a great question.
Dude, just banana, not banana, butter chicken
butter
curry.
chicken guy?
Yeah.
You got to come back one of these days. We're going to go to
I would love to have Indian food with you guys.
Dude.
Let's do it. I've taken Bo there.
What's that shit you get? The cheese?
Paneer masala.
Dude, unreal.
Game over, dude.
You, me, and Steven.
Come on back. Let's hit it.
House that shit.
Yep. What exactly do you want to see when you tell the crowd to slam?
Slam dancing, circle pitting.
Boom.
Yeah.
What are your favorite couple of tracks from Lou Reed?
I don't even fucking Walk on the Wild Side.
It seems to me that he reinvents himself with not only every band, but with every album. Carry On, Terror, and Nails all sound different, but are all groundbreaking and sick as fuck. Nice. But are very different bands. Was making those changes or evolutions made consciously or something that came about naturally?
I just love hardcore. I love many styles of hardcore. And I think we talked already on this podcast. I think the band members that you choose to start a band with kind of dictate the sound that you're going to go after. You're not going to start a death metal band with a guy who likes Chain of Strength and Youth of Today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you started Nails with John Glue, you know?
Yeah, but like he has heart.
Yeah,
like true. Not that nobody else does.
There's a caveman in there that I think you knew.
That's
before
what I'm
Dude,
saying. Like
they're in his hands.
Yeah,
dude, his hands are fucking large.
John's
Holy
cold
shit.
hands, dude.
Monster hands.
Straight up.
What is your Grail guitar?
Oh,
I mean, I have a 1982 Tobacco Burst Les Paul Custom that I have. That's That's probably my most cherished guitar. I used it in Terror during Low So Low, and used it here and there in Nails and other things. That's my cherished guitar. Is a holy grail as far as one I could have? Not really. I got a gang of Les Pauls, so I'm good.
You really do.
You're good.
He really does. What, if anything, is your pre and post set getting ready, coming down process?
I got to listen to aggressive music. I got to
on the
drink
beats.
some water. I got to hum. I got to warm up my vocal.
Yo, you told James how to do that. Now that I'm remembering.
Well, I didn't tell him how to hum.
You told him to do it in order to preserve his voice. And
does he do it?
He does it every set and has since we toured together.
I'm honored.
It's crazy.
Go-to karaoke song?
Get Down Tonight.
Somebody said, I hope they show the clip
tonight.
of Todd singing Get Down Tonight after Sound and Fury next year.
Yeah,
Last year.
Mike took a video of me doing, put it
Mike
on Instagram.
Cesario?
No. Mexi Mike.
Mexi Mike, here's the video. Does your taste currently lean more metal or more punk lately?
More punk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Todd Jones portrait painting?
No, I don't want to see it.
How was collabing with Jeff Whitehead?
Amazing.
Twice.
Yeah, he's
Pretty dope.
fucking amazing. I'm so happy that his artwork represents represents our music.
It really does.
I feel like it's a good match.
When you pick up your guitar, what's the first riff you play?
Play some fucking minor pentatonic shit.
Do you have a
With loose
sound
scale.
check? You have a sound check riff, Todd?
Danzig.
Beautiful.
I love that riff.
Very good. And I think this last one, before I ask you our last question here, will be the worst day you've ever had.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Okay.
All right. It's not today.
They do
because,
that, man. Yeah.
So Todd, before we sign off here, I want to know, people want to know your top 4 hardcore records of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Minor Threat complete discography. Like, I know that's not like a full length or an EP, but that's
it's a
It
release.
counts.
It counts.
Suicidal Tendencies first album.
Wow. Is that self-titled?
Yeah. Circle Jerks Group Sex.
Mm-hmm.
And the Straight Ahead Breakaway EP.
Wow.
This is a man who thinks about this question often.
That was good.
I thought about it today.
Okay.
Because
Beautiful.
I saw that you guys do that with folks.
Yeah.
I love it. Those are great answers. I love the suicidal pick.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's like one of my favorite full lengths of all time.
Do you like the re-recorded version too?
I got that when I was like 12. So yeah.
I think it's
But
awesome.
I haven't listened to it probably since I was a teenager.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. Todd on HardLore. It finally happened.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had the best time. I'm sure Bo had the best time. Appreciate you coming down here all the way. Let's go to get some food soon.
Yeah.
And I think let's do this again next Nails Rack.
Happy to do it whenever
Yeah.
you guys want to do it.
Fuck yeah.
I love it.
Great idea.
Well, Todd, you're the best. One of the greats. I've learned a lot today. I hope you've all learned a lot today and enjoyed this beautiful conversation with a true legend. And we hope for the best for Nails. And
Thanks.
We're excited to see what's next.
I want to thank I want to thank you guys. This incredible platform that you guys have built, and also anybody watching this. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, and or even if you didn't make it this far, thank you. And fucking stoked that that I could still play music and be involved in hardcore and have people be interested in anything that I do. So I don't take that lightly, and I don't take it for granted. I'm very appreciative of that. So. I know I've been doing hardcore for a while, and I don't know. I'm just very appreciative of it. Thank you. I feel like almost like I'm a tourist in your world now.
No.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Beautiful.
You molded the world that they inhabit.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know about that.
well,
You helped.
you don't have to.
I helped. Maybe I'm another brick in the wall.
Oh, my
full
God.
circle, baby. It all comes back to Brother
Think
Pink.
forward.
Todd, thank you so much.
Well,
And there you have it, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this incredible episode. And we'll see you next week with Dwid.
nice.
Bye.
Bye.